And welcome back, everybody, for a spectacular game between Bog Dogs and Waldo's Weirdos. And Bog Dogs and Waldo's Weirdos. And Bog Dogs. I am joined
I'm
with.
so excited. Go ahead, Leo. Um. Okay, so the Waldos. Okay, so this is gonna be the losers bracket grand final. It's gonna be a best of five. Both of these teams are looking to make sure that they win this game so that they don't get eliminated and they actually do play us in K5 in the grand finals. Waldo's Weirdos is currently first pick, and the draft is started. I Leo, is there anything
Visual
you're
bug.
looking out for?
Definitely, they're going to be banning out some of these junglers. Ours maybe pretty known for the Elise. But so far, it looks like they are just picking some stuff from their OPGG. It looks like there might be bug. There's two champs not that are not shown, but Seraphine and Elise does come out, so they do ban one of those out from their side.
Yeah, I'm not aware if there was like bans that Waldo's wasn't allowed because of the sub rule or something, but it looks like they have two no bans, and then there's nothing in the chat. Do expect the Elise ban, do expect the Nocturne ban coming out from Bogdogs against Aris, and Waldo's Weirdos picks up the Smolder. Smolder has been an insanely powerful B1 pick for pretty much the entire tournament, and they do look to snipe it. I think the nerfs over the last patch haven't, personally, I don't think it changed the champion that much. So I think it's still in a very powerful ranking. So great pickup by Waldo's. Bogdogs answers with Jinx, and it looks like they do lock in the Victor. So they're looking for that kind of front to back team fight off of their 1-2 really strong scaling picks.
Yep, it's a good competition. They want you to basically step into their trap, try to get that Jinx excited. But we have a lot of scaling for the side of all those weirdos. We have a scaling Sinja and that scaling Molder, which is always a great pick, especially going into the late game and just prolonging the game. The Xin Zhao comes out for that early game leads that they want to look for some plays to enable some of the champions. With that Trundle just being a hard counter to the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I like the Cinder Zinzao pickup. I think it fits really well with kind of the range that they want to play. Then we also have the, Zinzao can go like enable and engage. Trundle's a really good answer, obviously, your paper counter into Zinzao. What is really interesting is that kind of not really draft related, but like both teams are picking very, very quickly, which tells me that they've done a lot of draft prep, and which is going to be really important going into this best of five series. So we'll have to see what other kinds of picks and bans that they're coming out with. So Waldo's is first ban's the Poppy against the Xin Zhao. I think that's totally fine, especially they might have some picks that they're looking for on the 4-5 that the Poppy counter could be very powerful against. And then just a blanket Renekton ban against Kosi.
No doubt about it. They will be also looking maybe for a support and top lane picks for these two sides. So we're gonna have to see those two get banned. Karma, Lulu is still available. Melio's not a good, not a bad match with the pairing with the Jinx, as well as for the Smolders. So anything to protect that and just make some frontline available. But the Braum and the Nautilus will be coming out, and some enchanters are still up open. Although it looks like it is the meta for some tanks. So.
Yeah, I'm a little confused if they ban the Braum here. I think so. Knowing Waldo's Weirdos is bot lane, like Duckling really likes to play the engage type supports, and they also tend to give Duckling R5, which means that you should have an answer to if they wanted to pick like Leon or Alistar, which are typically one of best. Oh, sorry, they don't have R5, so they're thinking, okay, now the Braum ban makes sense. So I'm expecting, yeah, like the Enchanter comes out, which is perfectly fine. I think the one thing Bogdogs is going to need is some kind of engaged champion, so that's probably what they're going to draft on 5, maybe like an Ornn or Scion or Malphite or something. And then Waldo's is looking to probably pick an engaged support since that's Duckling's best, but you could also opt in for, as you said, the Karma, the Nami, Seraphine, stuff like that. So just seeing how they round out the draft, I would imagine some kind of like maybe long range comp, but then maybe mixing some engage alongside the Zinzao. Yeah,
Yeah, no
there's the
doubt
Alistar.
about it. It's a good counter engage tool. Keep these carries safe. It's what they're primarily going. Zinzao and Alistar both making a good pairing. They only do have the Trundle to go in, so it's something tanky that can make that fight break out is something that Bog Dogs will be looking for. So I do expect maybe even Cassante or Mbessa as well. Zahin is also up on the board, which is a very powerful champion. And it looks like the blind top laner will come out for Waldo's Weirdos, and it will be the Cassante is covered in and yep, locked
Okay.
in.
Yeah, so one issue I have with Bogda's comp already is that they have no way of getting on top of Smolder Cinder. They have an extremely high range. Like Trundle is like a fake engage, and even if Trundle pillars, Smolder can get away. Also, Alistar Peel is going to be really good. So my issue is that how is Bog Dogs is ever going to go in? Maybe they don't necessarily need to go in with their comp with Victor Jinx. They want to hold their ground, but then Smolder Cinder just going to outrange. So I really want to see a hard engage champion coming out here, like Scion. Ooh, Fiora. That's a very different style of champion. Okay.
Definitely, they're picking their comfort champions going into Bog Dogs. Hopefully, getting that early game lead that they're going to need to do to pulverize Waldo's Weirdos. And obviously, think Waldo's Weirdos maybe have a game plan. Just getting those two champions safe, playing smart, scaling, and punishing mistakes. I would probably bet on this game. Waldo's Weirdo, putting my points on for that one.
Yeah, honestly, same here. I like Waldo's comp so much. Like they have really good scaling, they have really good front to back. They also have the ability to dive onto the Bog Zogs' immobile carries on the Jinx and Victor. Xin Zhao and Alistar and Syndra have really good setup. On the side of Bog Dogs, I think they're just looking to try to. It is possible that Bog Dogs can win because if say like Xin Zhao, Alistar do ever go in, then Jinx could lay down the traps, Victor can lay down Gravity Field, the Lulu should be able to peel off the engage. And then if they're able to stop them from going in and Jinx gets a reset, then it's going to be really hard for Waldos to actually have the same amount of consistent damage off of the Smolder Cinder that Jinx can have. So it's going to rely on if Bogdas can survive the engage, and if Waldos ever actually engages, because they can just look for picks as well, right? Or into basically quadruple immobile with like a Cinder QE, could just basically wreck any of them. The sauce is definitely that Fiora. Like there is a world where Bogdog just never chooses to fight, or they force Waldos into fighting them because they might just lose side to Fiora. So just a really interesting R5. I mean, I want to get to the game to see how this plays out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It looks pretty hyped. It's just punching those scaling champions, making sure they don't get a line. If they take those early barons too, they can definitely flip it onto their side of the favor. Obviously, if the other team plays calculated, then it will more or less coincide with Waldo's. So it's a battle of magicians.
Yeah, one thing I just thought of just to look at future games in the series is that Syndra and Alistar and Xin Zhao are probably some of Waldos' best champions. So they're definitely coming out of the game one, like looking to just get an early commanding lead. So we'll have to see if like game two and game three, if they've exhausted some of their best picks and maybe they're kind of like burning, not necessarily burning out their strategies, but what else they have in store for us. I don't think these champions on Bog Dogs. I'm not sure much about Cusco. There was one series where Cusco played Fiora, and he was an absolute menace. I think he was like 3-9 or something, but the pressure he was able to put on Fiora basically won them the game. So this game, it can go either way. I would side to Waldos, but we'll have to see how like game two and game three, or even 4 and 5 play out in this best of five.
They're gonna have to protect their top lanes, especially in their early games. So that's gonna be a definite way they're gonna play this one out. Bot lane wants to scale, mid lane wants to play safe, and the windows of opportunity will be looking at that top lane for probably the first 15 minutes of the game. I expect some action coming out of this match.
Yeah, definitely. If the Fury gets ahead, it's gonna be nuclear. I don't expect the bot lane to have too much going on. The Jinx Lulu's kind of gonna do whatever they're just gonna scale. However, I know like Waldo's Weirdos is really good at getting that early lead. The Xin Zhao Alistar is a combo that they've run with a lot. And what tends to happen is their bot lane gets prio, and then Alistar Zinzao just invade. The Zinzao does a top to bot clear, then they get bot prio, and then instead of doing Zinzao's bot quadrant, they just invade the bot quadrant of the other team. So that's also something I'm looking at in this early game.
A lot of familiar names. Ho Green Man, a very solid mid laner. Um, that's one that I do know. Arst, solid jungler.
Hmm.
We got Kosi on the top lane, very solid opponent as well. And I'm excited to see these players go at it in this
Hmm.
particular matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. We're about to get into the loading screen, and of course, because we're spectators, there will be a delay. So we're probably gonna take a short break here. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we go to break?
No, I'm excited to see how this one plays out, and let's get this show on the road.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna take a short break here. We'll be back as soon as the game starts. Do not go anywhere.
Alrighty, and welcome back to the TA
Minions have
match between
spawned.
Waldo's Weirdos and Bog Dogs. On the top lane, we have Cusco on that Aurelia. On that jungle side, we got Demon Major, Whole Grain Man with that Victor in the mid lane. Talia with that Jinx, Mark, and with Lulu. And on the side of Waldo's Weirdos, we got Kosi with the Cassante in the top lane. Artist with the Jinzao, Mika with the Zindra, Mooncake with the Alistar with the Duckling, and already got Laura trying to a freeze wave, punish, and they are double. Get out of there. With me today is Chaos. Welcome to join us.
Hello, hello. I'm super excited to get started. Oh, it's crazy. There's already you can even introduce the players without basically a potential character. Just already break some of that down. So what I saw right from the start, Alistair started outside to ensure that their blue team did not get any raptors. That's the first thing that they should have known where stuff started. But Zinzao eventually was caught out by the Fiora and then clear. Fiora was trying to proc me off the first wave and was completely stopped. So I'm not sure how much about top lane you know. I know very little. Okay, so Fiora's already off to a bad start. Yeah, that turns out. Right at the start, I'm really just looking to see how the jungle play out. This is how pathing is kind of so the turtle is already pathing is already much quicker. So the first scuttle is
A little bit of an action in the mid lane just as Miko and Whole Green Man just do a little bit of a trade. That is going to be a little costly for the Fiora, though. I'm also not enthusiast. I'm a jungle mid ADC or support at the most. Mostly jungle, but it's an interesting. She's going to put her behind a bit. He's going to have to fast little reset, and that wave crash in. So he's going to head right back to top lane like nothing ever happened.
looks like I'm getting some feedback that my mic is not up to par. I don't think it's my mic, and you might be hearing me fine. It might be a stream thing. We'll try to get that fixed soon. Yeah, well, off the bat, I'm seeing that Zin is skipping his bot camps and then going for the scuttle. Interesting, good adjustments. So Turtle's probably just gonna get that caught out, and then he's gonna have to reset, go top scuttle.
Looks good. All of the members from the side of Waldo's Weirdos all just gearing up and helping, making sure that Scuttle is secured. Alistar's just going to be pushed out as this Trundle looks for that Scuttle, but it will be not there. He's going to have to reside and probably just head up to the other one that will give him that time from that lost clear that he takes. So as the Trundle heads up there, Zinzao can finish up that full clear, and they both will have their resets almost basically synced at this time. But wait a minute, we have Zinzao looking a little bit down play. Alistar goes in, he's looking at King Duckling. King Duckling looking at Marzipan. They stun up the Jinx. Flash comes out, barrier comes out. Art is gonna hit that proc 3, yes, and the kill's gonna be continuously just taken for the Zinzao. Looks like he was trying to give it to the Smolder, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah, great play by Waldo's there to get called in for the lane gang. Was able to burn every summoner on the side of Bog Dogs.
Nice little pillar coming out from the side, just trying to get out, possibly the flash out. The ghost does get used for the side of Miko's and Waldo's Weirdos as this Trundle looks for a potential gank there. That, I mean, he does get a ghost out, so that is a great trade for him.
Yeah, so already a lot of early jungle fighting happening, and it looks like we're not even done yet.
Nope. We got Demon Major looking on top of Kosi, both Cusco and Kosi just trying to duke it out, trying to get away. Artists on the response, looking at Cusco now, the potential 2v2 match as they look to shut down to a potential target. Flash being used on the side of Trundle. Artists looking at Trundle now. Eyes are on Cusco as they look for this. Really, Fiora, and yep, nope, the kill will go down as the jungler gets 2 kills on the map with a little bit of a roam coming out from the side of King Duckling as just 5 minutes in, 2 kills in the match, and the action is there.
Yeah, already like a ton of action. Slow should be fine here. Yeah, already a ton of action happening. This is kind of how Waldos wants to play. They really want to get that early aggressive lead and then snowball that into some Drake advantages, some mid-game tempo. So we started with like a bot lane gank that happened to burn basically all of Bogdan's bot lane summoners, and then they were able to get a kill Another trade mid and then a fight top, and now another Syndrome mid. Syndrome is 6.
He will be spotted on the ward. It's continuous looking, does flash out, use that W, looking on top of Ruhala as maybe potentially they are gonna look for this play. Q does go off as they're still trying to storm off, but they're just gonna hover back to their turret and recall for safety. Just lots of roaming happening for the side of Waldo's Weirdos.
Yeah, there's so much action happening. Syndra was able to roam down and unfortunately misses the flashy, but Gog is able to get out. Still get some pressure out. They're able to turn that into bot tempo. I'm looking at the next Drake that's coming in. Waldo should be looking to take it off the spawn now.
Yep, it looks like they have that prio for
Yeah.
bot lane. This drag most likely will go in favor for Waldo's Weirdos. But so far, so good. You got that Thorn Mail coming out from the side of Cassante, making sure that any damage he takes, he's just going to reflect it right back. And he's still pressuring that top lane pretty heavy as he's just looking to pounce with that Q and perhaps trying to bait out that parry. No, parry does come out, does get that little bit of a stun, but it's just pressuring the Fiora out of that wave still. Still feeling the effects from that early proxy.
Yeah, this is unfortunate because the Fiora was supposed to be the answer to Cassante, and we're seeing that she's losing pressure, even pulling jungle attention top to just eventually end up losing. So maybe Fiora will be able to still put pressure onto the Cassante. Maybe she's a champion that spikes out of 2-3 items. This is my lack of top lane knowledge coming into play here. So maybe she'll come back. I'm hoping that Fiora is going to be that kind of menace because I think right now, I think the composition is favoring Waldo. So Fiora is kind of like their win con. But we do see that the Dragon coming out in the favor of Waldo's Weirdos. So their whole team is going to just take a team-wide reset timer and then just do another top to bot clear. Hopefully looking to punish the Jinx Slash on the next clear to get maybe another couple kills onto the Smolder.
No doubt about it. Nice
Oh,
little
that
slow
misses.
and steady wins the race for the side of Waldo's, but they are creating some havoc up on this game number 1. As you know, we just continue to see it happen. Support roaming up, getting some nice vision on the side of the river, making sure that nobody's there. Good little W use from Monkey, just getting out of danger, making sure he's waiting for that support just to be with him. As the Zinzao potentially looking for another play top lane. He does spot Cusco. Cassante will be coming out on his way. He dashes out of the wall and it just narrowly gets out of there. So denying him that proxy once again.
That's crazy. He's getting every proxy deny, which I guess is how Fiora wants to be winning this lane, and then maybe that's why the Cassante is having such an easy time like getting out of this lane. I guess we'll have to see like how this turns out because like we have mid pry on the side of Bog Dogs, and Fiora is kind of dropping this top wave. Trying like Bog Dogs wants to play for the scrubs, and I think Waldo probably should just give it, just do their top to bot clear, and just really try to snowball this Smolder and really try to shut down this Jinx.
Yeah,
Oh no, they're gonna contest actually.
They did have a vision spotted, so they were able to see them. They are pinging in for that hard engage. Looking inside, trying to get that in. That's my will go towards the side of Waldo's Weirdos. We got a 3-on-3 action looking on the map as they are just looking at Trundle. Will he go down? Yes. He goes on a killing spree, gets a shutdown. In terms of that, as Kosi continues to jump on top of this, Fiora looking to potentially just poke him out. Now the target switches has occurred as both of them are just going to skirmish away and get out to safety. And then Jinx Rocket just narrowly misses as it came hurtling down from bot lane.
I was scared that the Jinx Rocket was gonna kill his own team, and I forgot which team the Jinx Rocket was on for a second. At the end of the day, like, is there 1-for-1 for junglers? 2 grubs to the side of Bog Dogs, though. So slight advantage for Bog Dogs in that play. Smolder is kind of weak-sided and just has to farm to turret in typical Smolder fashion, though, the whole time.
That's a good job for them. I mean, the Void Grubs are going to give them that pressure. Mid lane and bot lane are the ones, at least for Bog Dogs, continuously pushing. So they are going to be getting value from the turret plate and getting those little Voidlings out. So it will create some gold, at least for the side of Bog Dogs. It's anybody's game still. There's not much of a gold lead in the map so far. So we'll just continue to see as these junglers continue to apply pressure for both of these teams.
Yeah, as much as I dislike Grubs as an objective or just topside neutrals in general, Grubs is actually really good for the side of Bog Dogs this game because we're going to have the Fioras for push WinCon, Jinx and Victor and Trundle are also pretty decent at taking turrets. So it's actually not a bad take, especially since you don't lose too much on the side of Bog Dogs for that take. The second sequence, though, looks like Xin Zhao and Syndra are invading bot side looking for a dive here.
Your four-man flank as the star does go in. The call for mom does go in. They are just looking on top of the
Fly.
Jinx. The Jinx will go down as another member does go down. The teleport comes out from Whole Grain Man as he tries to save his teammates, but it's going to be a little too late as both of these players go down.
Yeah, it was a really good heads-up play by Waldo's to utilize the bot side vertical take into a bot dive. So the fact that Trundle is setting up topside control is not good. He has to get something done, otherwise, I think this game is going to fall out of control. Oh god.
Looks like a three-man play looking to flash. It's going to have to be used by Demon Mage. Another flash does go out. They get the double knock up, and the kill will go down to Monkey as they look to pray and just invade.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Like, you should know as Trundle that your bot side is completely cleaned out, or at least you can't just walk in. Your bot lane's dead, your mid laner is not going to be with you on this invade. So, yeah, really good by Waldo's to just completely set up a bot side vertical. It's going to really shut down this Jinx win con. Gonna try to snowball this Smolder up. This is already looking so good for Waldo's. As you mentioned, like, probably just 2 minutes ago, that there's not a significant gold lead, and now there's already a 2k gold lead, and poised for this next Drake take for Waldo's.
Just about a 3. The mid lane and bot lane have already rotated as Whole Grain Man places that trap down just to get out, which they're already most likely finished with their quest. So looking to trade, maybe looking for this next dragon as well, as they do start to just prioritize it. So 2 dragons for the side of all those weirdos. That's Fiora is looking for the proxy, which will most likely have a pause.
Yeah, looks like there already are in the chat, so maybe we'll get back in pretty soon. So just a heads up for you viewers, there will be basically a time when the game freezes, but just to be expected, we'll be back in just a second for that. Just to mention on the quick mid play here, so really good macro. Looks like Syndra roamed down to take some of the waves, and then so Smolder and Alistar can just retake the mid control, recreate the mid wave, and then get Pride for this next Drake. So this Drake should be a complete clean take by Waldo's. It's going to put them up 2 Drakes to 1, and they already have basically a 1.5k gold lead. And Syndra and Smolder are also very, very strong. So already they have a pretty strong lead with, I would say, a pretty strong composition. So Waldo's is definitely poised to take control of this game. One thing that I want to watch out for is Waldo's mid game is very, very good. Like the way that they play the map, the way that they get the vision, you can see already. Look at how much vision they have on this Drake. There's like basically no world that Bogdogs could contest even if they wanted to. So on the side of Bogdogs, I really want to see them looking to try to make some of these plays. Like we're not contesting any of the cross maps. We're not looking to trade any gold on the other side of the map for whatever's happening. So I really want to see something a little bit more proactive happening from Bogdogs. All the plays I've seen are just way too reactive, so they're going to be very short, very behind going into this mid game if they don't do something.
No doubt about it. And what lane do you usually play in while we have some spare time that they're just CSing?
I'm an ADC, and I love both these champions, Jinx and Smolder. I do understand support and jungle to a decent degree. I cannot for the life of me tell you how mid and top lane matchups go. I have a good idea of how like where they should be playing the map, but like matchups, no idea. How about you?
Jungle.
Okay. How do you think about
So,
the jungle matchup then?
It is surprising the fact that they're putting so much pressure on the Trundle. Usually he's more of that, I will 1v1 you if you see me, but the way that they're playing the map for the side of Waldo's, just being there together as a group, rotating efficiently, has just caused a lot of pressure for perhaps maybe this Trundle in this game.
How do you think Trundle plays this game? I feel like if I'm Trundle, I'm like looking at Cinder Smolder and I'm like, how do I ever go in?
That would be the trickiness, because you know the Syndra can stun you, the Molder can get away, the Alistar's there to back up.
Yeah.
The top lane can displace, also Xin Zhao can displace, so it's a bit tough just to go in. I would have wanted another tank to go in me, so it's just a tough matchup in general.
Yeah, Oh wait.
Oh, another play comes out. The parry does go out. It gets negated on that Q, barely and narrowly looking like she's escaped, but Syndra is looking for the prow. Q goes off, another dash comes out. As Cusco's trying to run for his life, but the kill will go down as Miko does pick that one up. Whole Grain Man looking for a fight. Flash is going to be used. R is just looking for another play, potentially, and ultimately comes out. Just barely not enough damage, but Whole Grain Man does get the R is still looking for another fight as he's potentially looking. Does use that ultimate. The stun does go off on Syndra. They do get away from that one safely. So Not too bad, a little bit forceful, but they're just continuously just putting pressure in the jungle sides.
Yeah, I was hoping that like Aris would have held his Zhao E for after they. Oh wait, the legendary Lulu Blink.
Yep. A little bit of a flash
This?
coming out
Oh,
for
good
Monkey, and
flush.
he will get away to safety as Flash and E does get used. But good look for the side of the what's the Bog Dogs, just making aggressive, getting that Jinx ahead. I mean, in later team fights, it's where I can see them excelling as long as whole Gray Man's there with those team fights. I think he's going to be the key to maybe
Oh
winning
yeah,
this.
mid play.
As I say that, it looks like he's just going to go down. Syndra does get the kill, and 4-0. I would like to see how many stacks she's got on the map. Is that possible?
Let's see, she's got 60. Syndra's got 69 at the moment. Nice.
Yeah, so she's close to that 120 mark where she's just going to hurt.
Yeah, maybe Alistar didn't need to flash there, but good to secure the kill. That definitely guarantees them Herald. So now they're up. I mean, Grubs I think is still a fake objective. So I think you could definitely do stuff with Herald, and I think Waldo is pretty good at utilizing the tempo advantage that Herald gets you for neutral takes. So that's gonna be basically 3 neutrals to 0 to the side of Bog Dogs. It was good on the Jinx and Lulu to try to find some kind of an aggressive play onto this Smolder on that weak side play, but didn't get enough off of that, just a Smolder flash. So still Waldo's in a commanding lead going into this mid game.
I would say the lanes haven't gone as wanted or guaranteed it for the side of Bog Dogs, but in later team fights, it should be looking a lot better as Miko goes unstoppable and just ults the Trundle. But
yeah, that is kind of tough here. The Turtle just kind of walked into the ramp without.
and
Just okay. I'm just kidding. Turtle just walked into the ramp, just kind of just died. Oh, those traps are good.
ooh, nice little flash coming out from the side of the Jinx. But yeah,
Okay.
they need to group up 5v5.
Flash.
I don't believe the side laning is working out in the terms for Bog Dogs, but just getting that Jinx reset is that hope that they'll need, and she'll just be ramped up, getting excited, and throwing down the team, especially with that resets that the Victor has later on. I mean, that's also their potential way to win this game. It's these two champions we need to keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'm just worried because if I'm playing Jinx here, yeah, everybody can kind of control the space for me, and then I can do the damage. But one, am I actually going to be able to get through the Xin Zhao Alistar before the Syndra Smolder can get through my Trundle? Also, how do you feel about Triforce Trundle in this comp?
I mean, it's a strong item for him in general. I believe that traditional Divine Black Cleaver into a GA would be a little bit more beneficial, at least picking that up maybe second, just in order to make these fights happen. But the next dragon will go down for the side of all those weirdos as they are on soul point.
Yeah, the Fiora ended up walking down. They pulled the Cassante TP just to guarantee that they're going to be on Soul Point. And they also were not able to trade anything. I think they thought that they could win a potential 5v4, but again, looking at their composition, who's ever actually going to go in? Like, what's your engaged Trundle pillar? I think that's not going to be good enough to lock down and try to get a Jinx resets. I think at this point, you just kind of have to try to get Fiora ahead inside. But if Fiora also can't win inside, I feel like Bog Dogs just kind of maybe draft themselves into a little bit of a hole here. The way that Bog Dogs I think will be able to maybe get something out of this is if they can like maybe flip some random Baron fight or maybe try to pick an Alistar off on rotation. And then just try to get some kind of pick. But it's so hard. It's so hard from Bog Dogs to try to get something out.
The rotation and at least teamwork from the side of all those has been pretty much on par, just consistently putting in pressure for them to get anything. I mean, you've seen it before in the early game, those proxies gets denied again, and then gets denied one more time. As Alistar looking for the Fiora, she might have just been overstepped. That ultimate will go off, and Miko is
Good
now
eye.
dominating.
Yeah, it was a good try, but just just not enough. And then the Avengers showed up. They kill the Fiora, and then they're able to just take another reset. Baron is on the next objective on the map, and honestly, if I was Waldo's, I probably would be looking to take it on spawn. I don't think you need to wait for the soul at this point. You just have so much control. I guess the one saving grace is that they've only lost one turret. Like Bogdan's only lost one turret, so they still have a lot of structures, which means they have a lot of time to play with. But giving up every single neutral means that Waldo should be able to just take everything off the map. Once they get like the Baron, once they get the soul, it's just so tough.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. It's just getting that pillar out, making sure these guys group up. looking for this Baron potential angle, flipping the game would be the way that they crawl back into this. Now it is a 5K gold difference, and most of that money is on the Syndra. So I mean, if anybody looks in that
Yeah.
just tries to initiate, it's just gonna be deleted, which is really tough.
Yeah, Bogdos doesn't really have a tanks that can kind of force Syndra out or make Syndra use a subpar ultimate. It's just going to be find one person, like Sal's just going to lock down one person, so you're just going to QE that person, so you're going to press R, and then you instantly have a numbers fight in like the first 0.5 seconds of the fight. So Bogdos has to just go for cross maps, and it's at this point it's just way too late, because if you try to cross map on the Soul, you try to cross map on the Baron, you're probably going to just lose the game. To some degree, if this was a solo queue game, I probably FF, but there are still ways as a team that you can come back. But also just, I mean, looking at the item spikes, right? I mean, Syndra is like up a Rabidons. The Xin Zhao is up. He's probably going to finish his Black Cleaver pretty soon. Eternal's still on that one item spike. So even just from an item and gold perspective, it's very tough. I'm not even looking at the comp, so it's tough.
Saving Grace, the farming from Whole Grain and the Jinx are pretty good. So I mean, as long as they continue to do that, slow the pace of the game down, get some good team fights coming out, then they have that potential to perhaps flip it. They just got to make sure that they're grouped up together and do not get caught off on sides, as we have a Fiora in the bush, gets pushed out, trying to dash away. We do have 3 members looking on the side for Dog's ultimate being used. Mama's being called a flash, and the ultimate is going to be thrown down as they just look into ours. He will be shut down by the Fiora as this fight continues to go. They do take out the jungler as another play goes through. Shutdown going in the side of Whole Grain Man as Dogs are coming back from this. The Exciter from the Jinx go. Get that spacing, get that Kosi. Just keep looking in, but the shutdown's going to go down. 2 members still left, and a triple kill goes for the side. Nope, quadra kill goes for the side of Monkey. And a very beautiful play from the side of Bogdox to look for some angles. Maybe that was a bait. And Aurelia, Fiora in the bush. But, I mean, they got some shutdowns, they got some money in their pocket, and we still got a game in our hands.
I'm sure this Jinx is gonna die. That was okay. Good signs of life from Bog. Oh, actually executes pretty good. Signs of life from Bog was really good fight. I think the reason why they were able to win that fight is because Kazante wasn't there for like the entire time. I think he just ended up walking instead of TP. So you're able to get a couple people off the start, but on the back end, Kazante just cleans up. Smolder gets a quadra kill now. Going to get on his fight for this coming Drake. So overall, still a really good fight for Waldo's. I see Smolder stacks are 177, so he's a little behind. There's another fight here.
Continue to look. 2 players looking on side. The Fiora will be responding as they have their eyes on the cow. Ari is trying to go in the back line. It's going to get knocked, pushed up as they're going to look on this Fiora, and she will be going down as the fight continues to go. They're on top of Marzipans as they're just going to slay that and control this next dragon, which will be their soul, as Mountain will go down.
I see what Bogdog's is seeing is like DC and Alice are kind of just like walking around our jungle alone, but like the only reason he's walking quote unquote alone is because you don't have vision of the entire Waldo team behind him. So I guess they just didn't have enough damage, and this goes back to the fact that they don't have enough CC to lock anybody down. Alistar actually didn't have ult at the start of that fight, so if they had a little bit more CC, they might have been able to kill the Alistar and then utilize the Jinx reset for the rest of the fight. But as it stands, they don't really have a lot of CC, they don't really have a lot of damage. So Alistar was able to just bait for the entire Waldo's team. We're able to get a couple picks. That's soul for them. That should be the upcoming Baron. If Bogdos decides to contest, I think it's going to be very difficult unless they're able to get the same type of numbers advantage fight that they got before. That's kind of what they're looking for. Is just as soon as you can find like a 5v4, maybe catch somebody out and then just turn that into an objective. Because see that Bogdos is actually able to win fights. It's just finding the look. That's the hard part.
Yeah, catching them off guard, like that last play, just making sure, hey, maybe they don't have numbers advantage. Just try to look for it, but. When they grouped up, it was looking pretty promising, and that's something that they just gotta keep on looking for as we have another bot lane just duking it out.
Something even gonna happen here?
No, just gonna hug each other for a little bit.
Gotta love the direct camera. Just
ultimate being used. All out does get used. Fiora ult does get procced up. She will be taking a turret shot, and just so close to get that. As yep. They just danced. That's all it was. They're dancing down there.
It's hard to say. It's hard to tell if anything's actually happening in that top lane 1v1. The amount of time the directed camera spends up there is egregious. but this was one of the few times that there actually wasn't all in and ultimate spent. I see that like Fiora has like 2 items. Oh,
Nice little look
not a
for
bad
the side of Bog
catch.
Dogs. They're trying to catch the cow off guard, but that will not be enough as he does get out to a safety and Fiora just covering his back. I mean,
Yeah,
Syndra.
that was Trundle ult spent there. So maybe they can look for to pull some kind of pressure. Cassante doesn't have TP. Neither of them do. Looks like they are starting this Baron. It's not a bad call.
Baron
Should
is
be looking
maybe
to turn here.
maybe it's being used as a bait as they're continuing to look. Smolder and the Zinzao are just taking out that Baron. We got 4 members. Fiora just in the base, not there yet. Looking on top of Holgrim,
Nice.
man. Mom will be called. He will go down as they just turn. And we're using that Baron just as a maybe just a bait.
Yeah. It's really a bait. Good find onto the Victor that's kind of caught out from the rest of his team. Doesn't really have a lot of appeal. But to get the pick here, looks like they're not going to do the Baron. They're going to just answer the midways so if Fiora doesn't get much, but then Cassandra should be able to trade that bot D2. So I think overall, good play by Waldos, especially if they're able to defend this mid T1. Oh, they might be able to catch the Fiora out that's like looking in their jungle. I think she's out.
Yeah, nice little recall. Does get out the safety. Will not get punished on this time. They did ping maybe where she was at, but they're just not going to follow. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So Baron is still the next objective. So they definitely should be looking to play it. Smolder is currently at 203 right now, so he's definitely going to have it very, very shortly. If Baron is not something they want to play for, they could just look to Siege, right? They have the pretty high range, and they also have Engage, so they could just walk up to a turret, find an outer WQ into the knee, knock that person up, and then just one-shot them under turret. They have a couple ways that they can translate this lead. I'm very paranoid about the bot fighting now.
Very tanky. You don't have a tower to fall around, and it's just going to be a 1v1 in the bot lane as Fiora's just leaking a procer passive. Get that true damage out. The all out does go in. The ultimate from BR does go out, and the shutdown goes on for the side of Cusco.
That's a huge, huge pickup. So, honestly, I was wondering why Cassante didn't ult the Fiora into the wall. Maybe the parry was still up, and then he probably would have just like yeeted himself over the wall. That's a huge pickup, though. Like now, it seems like Fiora is hitting that threshold where she will be raid boss in the side lane. So if Cassante can't hold it, they're gonna have to pull 2 people. But then that numbers advantage that Fiora generates. Oh, this is such a good play by Black Dogs. Fiora already generated a numbers advantage, and they're TPing into for a Baron start with Smolder in the bot lane. But Smolder does have TPs. It's technically not that bad.
Fiora looks. They are looking to chunk down this dragon. They are also realizing that, hey, the dragon is there. They might want to look for a potential angle. The dragon, Baron gets stolen by the side of Miko as the fight now continues to go on. Trundle looking to get out of there. Flash is going to have to be used as these 4 members look in. Miko looking on the side of Holgrain Man as he's trying to get some damage out, and the damage is there for the side of Victor, just hooking them out. But that Baron does go out. Top lane just trying to get away now. Flash is going to have to be burned as nobody else but the support does go down for the side of Bog Dogs, and the Waldos looking to siege in mid lane.
Oh, Victor might die here. Oh, flash Q. Not enough, okay. Oh, dude, the Blackfire Torch burn, I think, got it. I think the smite was way too early. Zin didn't even steal it. It was the Cinder that stole it. If I'm Bog Dogs, I'm like so upset. This is probably one of the very few looks you'll ever get in this game. And if Bog Dogs is able to get that win, or get that Baron, Jinx gets the reset, and then they have numbers advantage for the rest of the fight. That could have been the entire game turned around. It's so unfortunate the fight came out super early. That from this point on, like, because the next objective is Elder. How do you actually contest this Elder if you're Bog Dogs without even a Baron buff? So this, I feel like it's going to be an Elder, and this might just be the game for Waldos. Maybe the next couple minutes if they play correctly.
Ola going to go on for the side of the top laner as the Fiora tries to ult down, but no, it's going to be a trade this time around for the Cassante.
Okay, I thought the Fiora was going to win the side lane matchup, but I guess it was just a you know, they baited me a little bit. It made me think the Fiora could actually just outscale. So that definitely should be the Elder. Yeah, it's very hard for Bog Dogs to contest it from this point on.
And we got Elder. Looks like Smolder might be online. Syndra might be online. And they can just siege mid with this Elder and cause a fight and most likely end the game in this current state. But we do have a Jinx Rocket, so maybe she could snipe it out as the Cow's looking to block this.
And your whole game comes down to a potential Smite Steel and Elder. That's not going to happen. They try, but Waldo's really good to pull it out. Alistar is in a really good position that Turtle, if Turtle can't even get in with his no flash and no blast cone, Alistar's just gonna W him back out. So yeah, that's gonna be Elder. This should be the last push. Let's see if Smolder can get a pentakill. I guess like what that's like how Bogdogs you're like, let's just deny them a pentakill. That's gonna be how we win.
That about if you're looking for a side lane flank, these members just looking in as that Jinx most likely will be deleted. Yes, it will go down. Nico takes that kill, going back to that turret, just making some aggressive plays, getting rid of that ADC, and that's potentially the one that they needed. Fiora trying to do some IQ play in the background by stopping some of these waves as well, but it's not going to be enough, man. This Alder Baron combination coming out from the Smolder as well is just more than enough to potentially just throw and the game as Waldo's
Yeah.
Weirdos take this game number one.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate loss for Bog Dogs here. They had a lot of windows to do stuff with. There was some signs of life. However, I think Waldo's just it's just not enough given the monumental force that Waldo's is. It's really, really solid win. Anything that stand out to you? Anything from draft? Anything from gameplay?
I mean, I was surprised. I think a lot of it came down to just that, that proxy that they ended up negating like 3 times. They were just there. But if it was the other way around, if she would have got that proxy ahead, getting herself a lead, then they would have had definitely way more pressure to potentially, flip fights, get that Fiora to snowball for sure. But I just, unlucky. Unlucky.
Yeah, so it's definitely unfortunate. Going into game two, first of all, if I'm Bog Dogs, I'm just like kind of giving it a wash rate. This is the best of five at the end of the day, so like you're going to get a lot of, you know, you're gonna get a lot of chances to, like come back. I want to see a draft that is, I guess, a little bit more playable. I think the issues with the last draft is that they kind of really couldn't do much. Like it's a comp that they kind of just have to like run at them, and like they have to get a lead in the early game, and then they basically have to stat check them and force Waldos to engage on their terms, and then play re-engage. And the only time we actually saw the Balgos actually want to fight was at 5v4. Other than that, I don't think I really saw anything massive other than Cusco getting that the 1v1 bot, which that was botched. So if they, I definitely want to see a more playable draft is the first thing, and then the second thing is I dealing with the Waldos' early game pressure is going to be key. If Waldo doesn't get super ahead early, I think Cloggers can look to play stuff because they have shown that some of their team fighting is there. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, definitely. That does show that they are able to play out, some good fights. Most likely, we'll see a way better draft, especially. I think that does play a factor. Drafting is always sometimes key to victory. You can get, the kind of team comp that you want to play for. Um, just unfortunate series of events, but it's still second game. There's still more to come, right? And
Yeah. I was gonna say like the link that I had from the previous game was I think it was only best of three or three, three blocks, and now this is an actual 5 block draft, which is good. Um, yeah. So this time we are seeing Waldo's is first pick again. Bog Dogs looks like they took second pick this time. What I mentioned in the first game still stands. Is that most of the power picks that Waldo's was able to get, just in terms of meta and in terms of their team, are kind of out. Like there's no more Smolder, there's no more Syndra, there's no more Zenzel, there's no more Alistar. So I want to see a Bog Dogs pick a draft that works really well with them. I think the way that they won in the past is to give mid lane, like give Matthew like a really strong matchup, and then which they did try to do in game one, and then try to have bot lane be a little bit more self-sustaining, which they did also try to do, but get the jungle on a matchup where maybe they can scale. Like maybe like the Trundle into Zinzao wasn't the best. If you could just pick like a utility jungler that offers a lot of CC, they can play for a team fight. Like, I'm looking for maybe something like an Amumu or like a J4 or something like that, so they can set up your carries. That's kind of what I want to see. Is there anything you're looking to see in this game too?
just More standardized drafts, I would say. I'm pretty sure they've scouted each other and they have their pocket pits. But I mean, to the surprise and credit, I mean, Smolder, Syndra, two of those, guaranteed 30-minute champions are gone, which is great.
Yeah.
Only one is left, which is probably A Soul, maybe Mundo or Nasus. But I mean, that's like
the
something else, right?
rare
So
Nasus pick. That would
the
be.
ra- the
I'd love to
Nasus
see that.
jungle, the Fly Quest pick.
The Nasus jungle fly quest pick in the series. Yeah, that was something. Uh, I guess we'll have to see. It doesn't look like they're ready for drafts just yet. Just get some yapping in the chat. Okay. So yeah, I think this next draft. So if I'm oh wait, maybe they swapped actually. It looks like Bogdan has his first pick in this draft, in this game too. If that is the case, what Bogdan have done in the past is picked a wrist. They picked Ziggs, and they looked to flex it. So maybe looking for that this game. Waldo is probably looking for a strong, and then maybe like an Ash Seraphine bot lane, and then maybe just some I'm expecting the bands to be the same. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know because you just have to wait and see how the draft plays out. I think we're not ready yet. Maybe. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think the best thing for us to do right now is probably just cut to a break, guys. We'll be right back. When we figure out I think we're talking about the band situation. We'll be right back when we figure out when that's going on and what game two looks like.
And we're back for game two from Waldo's Weird and Bog Dogs as the first game went into Waldo's as we have our first three bands coming out as Karma, Annie, and Twitch are going to be locked out of this game. And Elise comes out as well.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a bit of a hiccup. Looks like Waldo's does have their bans, which kind of shows like the power of what they can do with not having two bans, and they were able to come out very, very convincingly. So in this game, they do end up banning the Karma, Annie, and the G4. Same bans coming out from the side of Bog Dogs. I think last time Waldo's banned. I'm not sure what they banned, but they're still first pick here. So I think it was Seraphine actually. Then they ended up B1ing the Smolder. So maybe they're looking for some kind of Ash Seraphine, dropping the Seraphine pick. But is there anything you're looking for in this game to draft?
I'm not too familiar with all of the players, but it looks like
Ah,
surfing will be taken. They might respond by taking away the ash. It's just a obvious pairing. So a lot of engage
yeah.
already coming on the side of the side of all the Weirdos, and there is the ash just being taken away. So it's just responses to it. Maybe they got something cooking up. So
Yeah, okay, so they were looking to B1 the Seraphine, and if Bog Dogs, did ban Seraphine, they might have looked to pick Ash or something like that. That's why they dropped the Seraphine ban this time around. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if B1 Seraphine is like a super high prio, especially given the Enchanter nerfs on this patch, but it looks like Waldo's does prioritize that. Maybe the idea is that they expected Bog Dogs to rip an Ash Seraphine, so you're going to pick one of them away, and then they pick Seraphine, which I would tend to agree. I think Seraphine is the better of that bot lane too. I think Seraphine has a lot of pairings. The answer with the Melio, just a typical enchanter support. I don't know how much I like the Melio. I feel like I might have just looked to pick a Prio jungle away from a wrist, or maybe look to pick an engage support into Seraphine. But still a really strong lane, a lot of range to work with, a lot of kiting potential. So from the side of Waldo's, I'm thinking you pick an ADC here. I think you can kind of do anything. I think if it was me, I'd probably just go like Yunara or like maybe like Varus or something. Maybe like a Zeri, and then yeah, there's the Varus. So they're looking for some type of long range poke. My only issue with Varus is that Varus is pretty bad in Emilio, but let's see how they work that. And they're looking for a jungle pick here. Maybe like Jarvan's out, Zin's out, maybe Wukong. What are you thinking on jungle here? It looks good for your team.
Wukong's definitely one of those picks that can show up. They could also go with maybe a Viego since they have that CC control and get
Ooh.
those resets out. Um, Another potential pick that they can possibly pull out would be a flex pick, maybe Mundo just for some CC frontline, but it looks like they're hovering and we'll be
Yeah.
picking that Wukong for that more engage that they're gonna need.
Yeah, if I'm Bog Dogs here, I'm probably looking at a Poppy, since if I was Walrus, I'm probably going to ban the Poppy on second rotation. Bog Dogs also has proven that they're going to flex the Poppy jungle's top. So if I beat them, I think Poppy is going to be something prioritized. Oh, they look for the Sejuani. Interesting. Okay. Sejuani, pretty good. They're going into... Okay, so I already like their draft a lot better. They have a lot more tools. I guess a move, same shit, different day. Just your typical AP frontline engage type champion. I think Amumu might be a little bit better because Sejuani's ult can obviously be tanked. Amumu gets a lot of range, but like we're already seeing a very different draft come out. In game one, they drafted Jinx, Victor, Trundle, which they have a lot of damage, but they have no setup. This time they drafted a lot of setup, and I don't think Ashe is amazing damage, but like at least they have tools to do something with. So already a little bit of a better draft coming in, and Renekton on the second round ban.
No doubt about it for this game too. It looks so far it could be anyone's game. I mean, you have pick potential from the Ash and Mumu catching people out, perhaps getting a six-man ulti in this game. We'll also have the that Seraphine, Wukong, and Varus ult combo too. So it's gonna be another one of those games where it's if we find you, we're gonna fight you first, or vice versa. At least for these two team comps.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely way more explosive. This game should be a lot more fun to watch. Shouldn't be as one-sided. Both teams have the ability, as you said, to look for their own engages that they find. I'm not sure if the Renekton ban is targeted to Kosi, because I also feel like Renekton is just a really good pick into Mbessa. I think picking Mbessa on 4, if it's not a bad matchup, would be pretty good. Or you can look for an R5 Mbessa, especially since you have the Ashe and a Mumu to kind of set up into a double mobile backline. So you could look to play this front to back style. You could look to play the dive style. You see Waldo's coming out with the Veigar and the Ari bans. Just supplemental CC and damage, I think, are really strong. So the Rise pick is looking like it's being hovered here. It's gonna be a blind Rise into what I think is a pretty long range composition. I feel like Rise might have a little bit of a time. They do have good setup though in the form of Ashe Amumu, so Rise should be able to come in. I have also seen some Rise ulting the Amumu into the backline plays that would be fun to watch.
I sense an Anivia coming out, as it's one of those champions that gets picked right into Rise for its really hard counter, and it will stop a lot of their champs. But it looks like Cassiopeia could potentially be this pick, which does slow down the Rise a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna answer Battle Mage with Battle Mage. I I don't know about the Cassiopeia here. Like, I think Cass is really good into anti-dash and like dive oriented champions. I think if a move ever hits a Q on you, you're probably going to, get kind of cooked. I think Waldo's is mid. I think the bet. I could be wrong, but I feel like either you pick Anivia is a fantastic pick here. You pick some kind of long range, kind of maybe Hui would be really good here. You could also opt in for a Silas, could then steal like a Mumu, Ash, and Rise ult. Um, Maybe I would have picked that, but I think Cass does really well with a team fight that kind of Waldo is drafting. If you see a Mundo, man, I think Mundo is insanely good here. Like, who is actually going to kill this Mundo? This Mundo is absolute Thanos. Let's see what Bogdarth picks as their R5. I mean, the comp is good, but let's see how they run it
They
out.
have Gwen available. That could be the answer for the Dr. Mundo. So that's a potential pick, but it doesn't look that
Yorick.
way. So yeah, the Yorick's gonna be hovered and we'll be locked in for the set of Bog Dogs.
Okay. Yorick is really interesting because obviously Mundo doesn't have like a fantastic way of getting through the Yorick cage. Yorick also, I feel like, would be a good answer to Mundo in the side lane. You're just going to have a lot of damage. You're going to be able to get pushed. So it definitely feels like Bogdan has a very standard strategy that we are also seeing out of game one, right? You draft a 4 core and then you draft a split pusher on R5. Just whatever split pusher can win side lane. We did see if you're do some numbers onto the Cassante. So we're looking for something very similar, but this time Bogdas actually has the ability to engage. We'll have to see how much damage that can actually come out off of the engage, because Waldo's actually has a really strong ability to counter engage and to play disruptor, right? As soon as Asha and Mumu go in, you're probably going to see a Seraphine ult come out. You're going to see Wukong disrupt the backline. You're going to see a Cassiopeia ult come out, and then a Mumu rise. You're going to be caught. Like I also think so. I do think I actually, I'm interested to hear who do you think won this draft?
I I mean, it's gonna come down to picking and scaling of that rise, get some kills early and online, and they can look to punish them. I would say Bogdogs. I would have liked the Gwen perhaps picked out for the side of Cusco. He does have it in his trample, and it also
Mm,
benefits the Varus Seraphine that try to do anything. You can just block all their stuff, get rid of the two tanks and Wukong, and then the side of Bogdogs can just finish off the team comp. So I'm a bit surprised that didn't go out. I would have said the
mhm.
Bogdogs comp there would have definitely been 100% better, but this one will be a bit interesting to say nonetheless. Although, yeah, just whoever gets caught out, basically, it's gonna go into whoever's favor on this game at least.
Yeah, something I also just thought of is that the Melio R actually goes kind of crazy here into Fair Seraphine Cassiopeia, because you can imagine that one person hits their ult and everyone is looking to chain their ults. But if Melio is able to react very quickly, stop them from chain CCing their ults, then they might have an actual ult advantage. So I do see Bogdogs having the ability to win this. I guess two other things to consider. One, I guess when you put the name tags on, I think players slightly outperform Bogdogs players. Like I will say that Arista is, I think, making it very hard for Demon Major to play the game. It's definitely different drafts, so maybe we'll see something a little bit different. The other thing to call out is that um, Duckling is known for his engage supports. I think he's very powerful on things like Alistar, as we saw on Leona, maybe even the Nautilus. When he plays Enchantress supports, he tries to do the same kinds of plays, but sometimes he does get punished because he obviously isn't as durable. So maybe there's windows that Bogdogs could use to pressure out Waldos. We saw that Duckling was roaming a lot, so they were able to pressure the Smolder under the turret in game one. So maybe we'll see something like that again happen here. But this time they actually have the ability to maybe engage onto the Varus in the dive. So that's kind of stuff I'm looking for in this game.
That Mumu ulti, Ash ulti are definitely going to be a factor into this game, and they do have the tools to run out Waldos. But for the set of Waldos, they do
Yeah,
have that poke comp. I'm just wondering if the damage will be there if that Cassiopeia can land those, QEs and get them
yeah,
online. That Varus just looking to shred people out. But it's an interesting comp for both sides. I would
for sure.
favor Bogdog's comp at least for this one. I just
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see both sides working. I guess we're just gonna have to get into game and see how it goes. We probably gotta take a short break here while we get into game here. Is there any last things you want to bring up before we go into break?
Oh, just best luck for both these guys, Bogdogs and Waldos. May it be a nice and beautiful game number two.
Yes, definitely see. Let's see a closer game. Let's see more clean League of Legends. I'm excited. We'll be right back, guys.
And we're back for the Archives game number 2 between Bog Dogs and, well, those Weirdos, as we have a potential look as Miko tries to get a ward in, but there are 3 members looking on the side for Bog Dogs, as it's going to be a 4v4 or at least 4v3 ARAM in the beginning.
Gosh.
And so, introductions for the side of Bog Dogs. We have Cusco on the top lane, Demon Major in that jungle with that Amumu, Ho Grey Mount with the Rise, and cannot say it, Ruth on that ADC, Marzipan with that Melio on the side of Waldo's Weirdos. We got Kosi with that Mundo on the top lane, Wukong with Arist, Miko with that Cassiopeia, Monkey with that ADC Varus, and King Duckling with that Seraphine as some poke happens in the bot lane.
Yeah, already, it's funny, you were saying literally just before the game started that you were hoping that there wasn't any action, and we saw a 4v4 mid lane before the minions spawned, so that was kind of fun. So, yeah, just to break some of that down. So it looks like Boggers are trying to get a vision on Raptors the same way they did in game 1. They weren't able to get that Raptors, so, but on the side of, oh, I guess they did drop a Raptors ward on their own blue, just to try to prevent Aris from going for a top side invade. Then we saw a little bit of a poke war happening bot lane, both heals are going to be burned, but that means that Waldo's does get prio, which is going to set up for Arist's potential bot side invade if they don't know that Amumu actually did a bot to top clear, which is kind of interesting. How do you think about you're playing Amumu in this draft? Are you looking to path top or are you looking to path bot?
Most likely that bot lane, but you want to full clear to that level 6 regardless, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. They will be pinging the side for Bog Dogs, at least in the blue side, so they know that the invade hasn't happened. But I mean, it's a good champion. If they get that Q out with that ultimate, then it's a potential look. You got 2 ways to go in, and it's good. I mean, it's a good champion overall. Just AOE ultimate CC.
Yeah. So I guess what we already saw is Waldo's doing their classic 2-wave crash into vision into the red buff. Just trying to see where the Amumu is, but the Amumu was able to take a reset and went back to his top side, so he's gonna skirt away from vision and from potential bot invade. So the scuttle is gonna be traded. Amumu might be able to get a gank off top, but then that means that the Drakes should be on the side of Waldo's if they decide to just give up the objectives. But looking at the fact that we have a York in the top lane, the top side neutrals are actually beneficial for the side of Bogdogs. Getting the grubs, getting the herald is going to be really good to create a split push win con for the rest of this game, especially going into the mid game.
And we got a little bit of a trade back and forth action. Cusco and Kosi looking to fight, looking like it might be Cusco. Flash go now, and first blood goes on to Cusco.
Yeah, so now we're actually seeing the counter pick actually paying off. We saw the Fiora in the first game. It didn't really pay off. I guess the win con of that lane was trying to do a proxy. Since the proxy wasn't available, it just turned into a kind of a hellish lane for the Fiora. But this game, definitely no proxy needed by Yorick. You just smack the crap out of the wave and beat the Windows. Now, definitely flashes are even on the side of the top, but that means Mundo has basically no way of actually getting out of the cage if he wants. So it's probably just going to be a continual beating by Yorick. Definitely creating that win con.
You have Mundo looking, Artist in the backline trying to get onto Cusco. The flash is burnt as well, seeing if he can jump in. That circle does go in. Flash coming out from the side of Artist, trying to get those auto attacks in, but it looks like it's not going to be enough as he almost hit the pink ward.
Yeah, unfortunate flash usage. I think Arist thought that he could get the gank off, but just not enough damage. Like the W and the E were on cooldown there. Mumu did clear that top scuttle, and now looks like he did reset. Looks like he just went for a top to bot clear. Interesting, flipping the clear to go bot side, which is pretty nice. Maybe they actually can play this next trade. They're gonna have a little bit of tempo. He's probably gonna be resetting after this bot and bot Krugs, and then we'll see which way he goes. But Wukong not having flash is gonna be, I would say, pretty detrimental going into this potentially first Drake fight.
Yeah, and a lot more safe, a lot more calm looking for this game number 2 as, you know, first game was a bit of a bloodbath, at least for both sides. A lot of kills, a lot of plays early in the map. This time around, both players playing those lanes accordingly, respecting one another, and it's looking more or less like a game.
Yeah, definitely you don't see crazy invades or ganks or dives. I mean, we do have a Wukong who probably just wants to farm to level 6, but we also don't have an engaged support on the side of Duckling. I think Seraphine this time around, so nothing crazy going to happen. I think it's really just going to come down to some of these team fights. They're getting some vision control on this Drake right here. Looks like they are going to play it.
We got three people there. ADC's not quite with them. Both sides just trading in bot lane. Both sides for the teams just looking at this Vision River, trying to control that line of scrimmage as Dragon will be starting to be looked
Oh,
at.
what a crazy
Teleport coming
TP.
out for the side of Yorick. On the side of bot lane, Root Hala looking to slow down Monkey. Cusco is there. Cleanse is going to have to be used. Monkey will go down. The kill goes on to Cusco. Who's that? Cusco's poison, as Dragon will be secured for the side of Bogdogs.
Very suspect cleanse on the side of Varus. You're able to cleanse one Ashe auto, but what about the second Ashe auto? I think maybe you just cleanse flash there. Maybe just flash. It's probably the best thing you can do. Crazy TP coming out from Cusco. Secures the dragon. If Cusco is able to reset and just answer the top wave, it's going to be even better. You're not going to lose anything on the cross map. Even if you do, it's going to be going on inside of the Mundo, and that's probably not going to get him to win lane. Really good early game aggression. Neutral coming out on the side of Bogdog. Really good early so far.
Love to see it. Just teleport being used right from the side of Cusco, and just making sure they also have those numbers advantage and getting a kill at the end of the stick too, right? So dragging kill and controlling these objectives is looking like the game plan for Bogdogs.
Yeah, and critically because the Varus now doesn't have cleanse. When Amumu finishes this, I think now third full clear, and Ashe and Amumu ult are going to be absolutely unlocked. How's the Varus really going to get away? Like, you just have to flash and then hope that you can dodge the 3 other engages from basically the Amumu Q1. Oh, there's a fight.
Used by Rahala as she's looking to stack up that passive. The Q is just charging in as he's just slowed. Heal being used for that extra movement speed, and it's just going to go down as Monkey does go down. As in top lane, they do get a successful gank, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, both bot and top lane.
Really good of the Ashe just use the ultimate on the cleanseless Varus. A bit of a disconnect from Waldo's. I think Varus wanted to push in the wave, but then the Seraphine wanted to get some vision. Really good to find that angle. Varus also not 6 for the counter, so huge pickup from Ashe. They're going to get this wave, they're going to shove it into the...
Okay, little play looking for the side of Bogdogs as they continue to look on Aris, as the ultimate will be spent, and Whole Grey Man's going to get that kill. So nice setup, nice grouping, and nice control as Aris goes down for the first time in this game.
I wish I could rewatch that. There's a whole top play that happens that they ended up getting a kill onto the Yorick. I'm not sure if they got a shutdown or not. Oh, they did end up getting a shutdown. But then we had the Milio come up, and then because the Wukong ult was at the top play, they were able to commit the Amumu ult to kill the Wukong, and then just get the grubs off of that. And this grubs pickup is going to be absolutely massive on the side of Bogdog. Yorick is going to actually be the proper split push raid bots that he wanted to be in game 1. But this time, the rest of his team is also doing really well. So they should also have and they also have a very good composition. I think your prediction of Bogdogs at least being able to play the rest of the game and maybe even win the fights could come to fruition this game.
No doubt about it. They're playing it nicely. They're picking off what they need to do. They're playing as a whole, controlling these objectives. And it is going to be a little bit tougher for the side of Waldo, especially with that Ashe just, continuously throwing arrows in to get locations of the jungler, which makes it a bit tougher for the side of Waldo's Weirdos.
Yeah, so what I'm looking for now is we see a Mumu ult coming up in 1 minute, and we see the dragon coming up in 2 minutes. I want to see a Mumu maybe just do a clear, maybe just hover, try to utilize that ultimate and just wombo combo the enemy bot lane. Your Ashe should be way stronger at this point than the Varus, and if you could just kill the Varus, they're not going to have a lot of damage yet. Looks like they're going for a link that might not play out, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. I guess if you're a Mumu, what are you thinking? Like, are you looking to try to peel your carries? Are you looking to try to dive and stop the Varus or Cassiopeia? How are you thinking about this game?
As a Mumu, I want to make sure the Cass or that Varus are going to be the just priority targets. Whoever steps up or just get locked down, I mean, they're going to have that advantage to get it, especially with the Ashe just able to run them down. And, they do have that kill and item advantage coming out for the side of Ashe. Has another kill, or fight is happening in top lane as Cozy and Cusco looks to fight. As the battle of the K's continue, the kill will go down. Flash being used by the Yorick as Aris is looking for a counter play. The ultimate is going to be used by the side of Cusco, and it will be just picked up for the side of Aris as this dragon is now spawning pretty much soon in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's again like huge 1v1. Oh, wait a minute.
Nice play. That cleanse is going to be used. Just Demon Major right on top, and Ash Arrow does
Ooh.
go out too. A teleport comes out from the side of Rise as they just pick out another player, and Monkey is just being punished in the side of bot lane.
I mean, you definitely got to be careful of that if you're Bears. Like, everyone is technically off map. You know, your jungler's top side. You don't have vision. I would be definitely suspect of that. Really good pickup by Bog Dogs to just, like, kill them on the rotation. Maybe this guy's got here.
Nice ulti being used for the side of King Duckling. A flash is gonna have to be used. Whole Green Man just narrowly escaping with with just life.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's just so much fighting happening. Like, and the plays are being just chained into other plays. So we see the first is that they just have a 1v1 top. If Wukong isn't there, then I think Yorick takes so many plays off that. Wukong able to contest the top plate, but then Bogdog's using that timer to go for a bot play to kill the Bears on rotation, and then Seraphine trying to utilize that timer to pick the Rise off before he could get a reset off. So a little bit of, I would say, a slight lead for Bogdogs in this state because they were able to get 2 for 1. They still have the control for this next upcoming Drake. Mumu ult is down. Wukong ult is coming up shortly. There might be a short window for Waldos to find a fight with this ult advantage. We'll have to see how this fight goes out. Who do you think is going to win this fight coming up on this dragon? Do you think there really even will be a fight?
I mean, they're just looking for these plays. A nice proxy coming out now from the side of Cusco as he's got privilege to do it. But the way that Bog Dogs are playing this game too, it is definitely going more in favor for them. They do have Cassiopeia that does scale, but the Rise scales as well. Another teleport coming in for the side of bot lane as we look into this map. Ash Arrow coming in. Will it hit?
Ooh.
Yes, it's going to hit on the support. But they're just going to turn their eyes and collect this possible second dragon. I don't think they're going to be able to contest it. For Cass is recalling, and top lane's just looking for that push. As Cusco's just making sure that nobody gets on top of this.
Yeah, this is a masterclass macro by Cusco. I love that he's like getting that wave super high, able to TP back to take the second dragon away from Waldo's, and maybe if they're able to hold the top turret again, it's going to be a massive gold lead, neutral objective lead for the side of Bog Dogs. I don't really play a lot of Yorick. Maybe there's a world where you just keep the mid and top and just farm that extra top wave to deny Mundo from taking a couple extra plates. But at the end of the day, it's a couple extra plates to a tank Mundo for another neutral objective. Gives it to the side of Bog Dogs. Really good macro player on the side of Bog Dogs in this early game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bog Dogs are locked in for this game number 2. Game number 1, maybe they're just warming up, man. That's, just playing possum, warming up, and they're definitely showing up on this game number 2 as they're continuously just looking and punishing on this bot lane, and Yorick being able just to do as he pleases, using those teleports and creating just pressure and making sure the objectives go on the side for Bog Dogs, which is a very great look for them.
Yeah, I think Bog Dogs I think it's maybe they went into this game thinking that they were going to win, or the series thinking that they were going to win. Let's see what move finds. No, he does not. Yeah, but and then Bog Dogs decided after they lost, they're like, oh, guess we gotta lock in, sit up in their seats, get their coffee. Super locked in. Going into this next upcoming Herald, I still give this to Bog Dogs. I think they're very strong in this top side of the map. You already have Rise in the bot side of the map. Getting the Herald on the side of Bog Dogs could be huge for the Rook split push as well. So again, I'll just see how this fight plays out. There wasn't really that much fighting for any of the neutrals up until this point. They've just kind of just been out-macroed, always had some kind of tempo lead, always had some kind of vision lead. I'm assuming something similar is going to happen for this Herald, but maybe there'd be a fight. We'll see.
Definitely not over. It's only a 1k gold lead as the ultimate's going to come out from the Amumu as they're just looking at King Duckling. The flash is going to go out, but it's not going to be enough. And then we have another trade as Hogren Man does go down. A re-engage goes in as Monkey gets slain down. The bot lane goes down as well. So it's a 2 for 2 at least for the side of Bog Dogs and Where's Waldo's. But we got ourselves a game.
Yeah, that was a really nice find onto the Seraphine. Burn the summon's way down over. Hold the flash ult by Cassiopeia to just stop the Ash from doing anything. Maybe I guess they lost track of it. There also was a pink in the line bush, so really good roam up. So at the end of the day, with all these risks coming in, it is a 3 for 2 with the side of Waldo's. They were able to pick up this Rise. I'm not really sure how that happened. Rotating up for a couple extra kills. Like, I also don't know how the Amumu died. Looks like he was fine. Maybe he took an extra turret shot. But the 3 for 2 on the side of Waldo's also means that they have the tempo for this Herald. So Waldo's definitely coming back into this game a little bit more.
About it. Now we're getting a nice play from the side of Where's Waldo as they're looking to control this injected that Ghost is going to be used by Whole Grain Man, but that Rip Terror is going to be used. That ultimate from the Mumu is gone, so they're looking to re-engage this fight as King Dunkling is going to go down. They do secure that. They're going to take one member down as there still continues to look to play as Rise uses a beautiful ult, and Monkey is just going to go down. Rise getting that double kill. And at 3 items, he's going to be a lot stronger with this currently that he has, man. It's just benefiting this Rise.
Looks like it might not even be over. I think this Varus is gonna die too. There's a wave coming in.
Flash comes out as Monkey just tries to get away, and they're just going to continue to punish as Whole Great Man goes on a killing spree. 4 members just sieging up top lane. Kosi, you need to get out of there. That turret is theirs for their taking, and they're just continuously wanting to walk you down.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna take the resets. So there's probably gonna be the play over unless this Ashe gets caught on midway. We'll have to see. And at the end of the day, it was a 3-for-1 for the side of Bog Dogs. The Waldo's was, or 3-for-0 actually. Bog Dogs was able to get Waldo's was able to get the Herald. I guess we'll have to see if they use it. And they do technically, they can use it for a tempo advantage on this next Drake to try to deny Bog Dogs soul point. But then Bog Dogs was able to take 3 kills and a turret off of that. Massive gold swing. Rise sitting pretty at a 5-1 score line. This next fight, there is a world where Waldo's wins, but I do think Waldo's gonna have a slight edge on this top lane.
Cusco's looking for Cusco's poison, and that poison's looking to be Cozy as he's looking just to 1v1 this top lane, and he's just slowly running him down. Flash being used by Cozy as Cusco's still looking for that poison. Monkey looking for that potential flank as the RS also trying to respond for this top lane, but this Yorick is just being a menace.
Yeah, this Yorick is being the win con that Cusco. It sounds like Cusco is the type of player that just wants to put a lot of pressure inside, pull multiple players, and become the win con. And his TPs have been incredible to have pressure in multiple lanes, basically simultaneously. It looks like he pushed out pressure top and he rotated mid. Looks like they are going to contest this. Could be a massive team fight.
Ashel is going to go out looking for that Amumu, getting that engage on 2 multiple people. Ash getting that kill as Bruthala slains King Duckling. Demon Manger takes out Monkey. This next dragon, this next soul point is up for the side of Bogdogs.
Yeah, Bogdogs going to get a 3rd dragon now. Going to put them on soul point. Mundo getting a little bit of a consolation prize in the form of the top turret, but again, we're just putting more gold onto the Mundo. Looks like Waldo's wanted to contest the Drake, but they just got caught by the Ashe ult. They got caught by the Amumu ult. Really good chain CC. Varus didn't have any summoners from the previous top play. They were able to take a 3rd dragon now. So the next neutral coming up is the Baron. At this point, if I'm Bog Dogs, I really do think I could just, again, I feel like I could take it on spot. We have a good amount of DPS. We should be able to get topside control. But at the same time, with Yorick getting a very heavy split, just play the Yorick split, wait for him to pull members, and you just take whatever you want on the map.
3 members looking down, maybe to contest and save this turret, but it will most likely go down as they do have 3 turrets to 1 for the side of Bogdogs, and the pressure that Bogdogs is putting around them in this game too is pretty similar to how Waldo's Weirdos did to them game 1. So it's you know, we're watching a mirror effect happen right now. So this is great to see.
Yeah, something may not be the right time to call it out, but the Archives Vault Pick'em have Waldo's and Bogdogs sitting at an even 50-50. I personally voted for Waldo's, and looking at game 1, I do think that they could have taken it.
Ultimate being used for the side of Cusco as 2 members are still continuing to look as he does get stuck there. King Duckling is there. As for this reinforcements, looking on top of Cusco, that damage will be down as Cusco gets slain down by 4 members of, you know, where's Waldo?
Man, that is tough. They have to commit 4 members onto this Yorick to even kill him. If they commit 2, maybe they can just stop the push, but it's just going to be a temporary measure. So they commit 4 to kill him, but that just means that they're going to be able to get a side lane T2 trade. They're not even going to be able to get the T2. Oh my gosh.
Nice little bit. Ultimate being used as another fight does break out. Perhaps maybe a bit of an over, you know, engagement as they're just taking turret aggro as the flip and fight gets turned around as they are now running out to safety. Kosi still looking, R is still looking. Monkey are just looking to run down the side of Bogdogs, and perhaps they miscalculated and overstep, and the Wukong just had to go in for the engage. Teleport does come out from the side of Cusco trying to get out his members, and just a bit of unfortunateness from the side of Bogdogs, but just taking too much damage and giving some life for the side of Waldo's as that play did not go in their favor.
Yeah, Waldo was able to kill the Yorick on the top lane, so the bot lane was basically a 1-for-1, or it was a 1-for-1, 1-for-0 on the map if they didn't fight in that bot lane. It ended up being a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. You didn't lose too much for it. I think maybe you don't overextend the play, knowing that the turret, the bot T2, is the trade for the top lane pressure. So a little bit of an extend, not the worst, not the end of the world. I think it ended up just being a 1-for-1 bot. Still can play this next Baron if they want, but the dragon coming up is this soul plane. Who do you think is going to win the soul?
Usually, first teams with first steps having control of that line of scrimmage are the ones most likely able, as we do have the words coming out from the side of Where's Waldo. So they do have that perimeter vision, but there also is control or words, at least for the side of Bogdog. So, I mean, it's just going to have to play out. The Rise is also like 2 items, almost 3. His damage output is going to be insane, especially for these continuous T fights. And they have the composition to make these fights just last long for that output to come out, especially with the Ash and Rise. So if the fight gets dragged out, then it goes in favor for Bogdogs. If Bogdogs can look out to make a pick and just take somebody out, it goes in favor for at least Waldo's.
Yeah, I think I see something similar. So I guess we'll have to see how the plays go out. A lot of summoners were used in that last fight too that aren't going to be up for the side of Bogdogs in this next fight. So Waldo should be looking to capitalize off of their chain CC to find maybe like a flashless Ash or flashless Rise. Get some of those shutdowns back. Try to convert the Drake into a Baron if possible. The Abyssal Mask comes out for a Moon as well.
Nice little play from Mars, looking at a potential engage on top of the Ash, and they do get that first step, and they do get that first pick. As 4 members just now show up, the ADC is down for the side of Bogdogs, as they're maybe looking to grab this dragon. Mundo looking for that bot lane pressure. He does take that turret. They're just controlling this mid lane how they are supposed to, pushing it out and making sure that this dragon will not go in terms for that, but they still got about 30 seconds for that to be spawning. The turret does go out, so they get a nice trade, nice pick, and nice life from the side of Waldo's Weirdos.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I didn't really like that play initially because they're investing a lot of ultimates before the Drake even spawns, but they're able to convert the ultimates into a kill onto the flashless Ash and turn that into a mid T1. That should allow Waldo's to get mid prio and get some bots at vision, which is what Waldo's is really good at. Sometimes he just 5-man mid, secure that mid prio, get deep vision, and then start the Drake or find a pick as they walk into the ramp. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to see here, just like basically a 5-man mid.
Another 3v1 play coming out. Cusco trying to get out of that situation, but it's not gonna looking like it's gonna be enough as Cassiopeia does grab that ultimate, but on the other side of the map, that dragon, that fourth, is looking to get taken, and it will be going in the side of favor of Bogdogs. But little did they know that Baron is also being started for the side of all those Weirdos, as they're gonna just look for that trade. That info is there as they're going to be rushing over to get it. Mundo is not quite there, ultimately being used by the Ash Hero, connects on the Seraphine, but it's a little bit too late as this Baron goes down, as it's a trade for soul for Baron.
Yeah, kind of interesting that Kuzco ended up getting caught at the top side. Waldos was able to convert that pick into the Baron because they probably didn't think that they had enough time to convert a topside pick into a bot side neutral. Good trade, at least from the side of Waldos, but I think that if I'm Bogdogs, I am very happy with that trade. All they need to do is hold off the Baron, and then they have guaranteed combat power going into whatever fight that they want. I guess if you're Waldo's here, what are you thinking? Well, you have Baron now. You're into a soul team, like an Ocean Soul team. How do you want to play this next sequence?
They want to do what they did last one. It's look for a potential pick angle, perhaps that flat, that Ash or at least Milio, and make it a bit uneven. Use these Barons just to clean up these side waves as well, and just pressure the map as much as you can. They do have that. Aris just looking a little sneaky, and look at the steal, and he just takes that red buff and says bye-bye.
That was a cheeky play by Aris. Did he get that? It looks like
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think a Moomin just getting that red buff. It was a good steal. Let's W out. Classic Aris play, just gonna go for an invade whenever he can. Get something out of it. Good try. So, but yeah, they really need to be proactive with this Baron to some degree. I don't know how they're going to be, but trading Baron for Soul and not getting anything off the Baron it's kind of a feels bad. Like using Baron just to deny pushes. Well, it doesn't seem like they have a really good angle. Is there anything coming out from the itemization, like build itemizations, that you find is interesting? One thing that stands out to me is that Amuma is building plated steel caps into a team that I feel like Merc tries to get an insane amount of value into.
It's probably there for the Varus. I mean, he's building tanky and that second item with Abyssal on top of that Rise damage coming out. It's just there to amplify him, and then that Rise has that second item that also amplifies damage. That synergy between those jungle and mid right there, that is gonna be devastating in long team fights, especially for the side of Bog Dogs. They're just gonna output so much damage. For the side of Waldo's Weirdos right now, it looks like GA is coming out third item for Wukong. So, they want to make a play happen, but they need that damage. It looks like it's on hit Varus too. So, it's just tough at this game state right now. They just want to slow it down.
Yeah. It's looking like Waldo's is there's like 3 or 4 members that are very, very close off of 3 item spikes. We have Wukong almost about to hit his GA. Cassiopeia is about to hit that. What's that? Oh, Morel and Omicron versus about to just finished up Terminus. We're coming up on the 3 item spikes. I would assume that all 3 item spikes are going to be available for them for the next couple of neutrals coming up. On the side of Bog Dogs, you guys are kind of at a point where you're totally happy to fight, right? You have 3 items on your primary carries. You have Ocean Soul. You have a really good teamfight ultimate. I'm actually a little bit disappointed to see that Bogdos is kind of looking to play the game a little bit slower. I would be looking to try to pressure, especially when Yorick's trying to push. But I guess they're fine to take it slow. They're fine to just look for a team fight onto the Herald, or onto the Elder Drake or the Baron, whatever comes up.
Looks like both team members are most likely looking for this Elder. They need to push out these waves, keep that mid push, perhaps go through in river, but the control from the side of Bog Dogs, as they're just looking to control the map, at least for the blue side for the side of Waldo's. And it's just gonna come out to this team fight. This Elder Baron would be more or less decisive. Both teams looks like they really want it, so we're about to get a good shebang in this next upcoming minute 40.
Yeah, we see GA finally coming out on the side of Wukong. Window actually has a lot of gold if he wants to base for whatever item that is. Shows what I know about top lane itemization, am I right? Cassiopeia could maybe still the D ring and just for the Morel and Omcom. Again, if I'm Waldo's here, I'm just looking to do the classic Waldo's mid to late game strat of 5-man mid, take mid wave, take bot side objective control, and then just look to fight the Elder. That's seems like they already got the mid wave. They're looking for maybe a bot side fight. They're not going to find the Yorick there.
Off from the side of Waldo's, they're just looking for this control as the flash goes out. Monkey dodges an arrow and a Q from the Amumu as these members are looking to contest. Ultimate's going to be going out. The flash is going to be popped out. Quen's going to be used. And Monkey's just going to go down as they look their eyes on Miko. But that Wukong just trying to be in the middle of them. Will not be enough. That GA does popped out. Miko is just going to be run down by this Yorick as he picks up a double kill. King Duckling trying to get out, but it's not going to be enough as Holgren goes on a rampage. Kosi trying to Mundo his way out of this next team fight, but he will go down as the double team does get out. 30 seconds for this Baron as they're just going to look to push this mid tier 2 inhibitor.
Oh, that was a great look by Bog Dogs. This is exactly what I was mentioning about 2 minutes earlier, where they're strong enough just to walk into the enemy jungle and just force a fight. We saw basically them sending everything in the kitchen sink into the Varus, blowing both of his summoners, and still finding a really good Amumu ult onto both Varus and the Cassiopeia. We're able to win the ensuing fight. I think Seraphine also ended up missing ult there as one of the few ults that I saw. But now they can just go back for the Elder. Then, if I was them, I would just take a reset and then just play the Baron and use that to close it out. That is probably the game-winning play.
Out of this Baron, Elder will be taken out for the side of Bog Dogs as Artist and Monkey are trying to make a play happen. In order to make sure that does not happen, Baron is bought. Another fight does break out. The Elder does go through as Artist does get just shredded by this Elder as these members are looking to walk down the members of Waldo's Weirdos as Seraphine does get caught out. Goodbye. And Cusco is on a rampage.
Maybe that was the only look that Waldo thought that they had. Maybe they didn't think that trying to fight on the Baron was good, or maybe they didn't think they could hold off like a Elder Baron after they had to go to the fight, but they just don't have enough control. So that's just gonna be the Elder. They were able to find a couple extra kills. Let's just do.
As just another fight breaks out, but the damage coming out from the side of Bog Dogs is just more than enough. Ruth Hall has just placed Miko. Kosi looks for a little bit of a trade. He does not take out King Duckling or the Cassiopeia, but Mumo's just still looking in that back line. 2 members alive, 2 members left. Cusco still alive. Looking at Koski. Okay, looking to defend this back second
On
turret,
Seraphine
but he's
alive.
just going to be run down as Cusco's poison has just taken out this top lane, and it is just enough for them to hold the front line as they're pinging this Baron for this next fight.
I do have to question some of the team fighting there. I think that they definitely could have maybe won that fight. I think the window getting onto the Ashe and just bonking him for, 700 HP off of one auto attack. As an 80 carry, I think that champion is stupid, and I don't want to play against that champ. But good play. Oh, might find a Yorick here.
Go looking on top of Artist. Clone's trying to be used. He's going to get pushed off by Marzipan, and it's just not going to be enough as Cusco goes dominating in this game number 2.
Yeah, I misspoke. They did find the Wukong there. That is going to beat the Baron. So, I mean, they ended up not being able to finish off with the previous push, but that's just not going to be enough. I think if the Wukong doesn't actually die, then maybe there's a world where they could test the Baron. But as it stands, it is going to be the Baron going over to the side of Bogdogs. I think Elder might still be on 1 or 2 members by the time that they get into the base, but this Baron should be enough to close out the game.
About a Baron will be going down for the side of Bog Dogs, and just like night and day, we saw one way on game number 1, and now we see a different way of game number 2 as Rise shows up and tries to bait the Seraphine, and that does happen. You know.
Oh, that was such a nice mind game by Matthew to just burn the Bear's ult and the Seraphine ults. Good mind game, good play.
Good little play coming up as they're starting to siege in this mid lane. Baron is on the side for Bog Dogs. Mumu looking for that Q on Artist, just narrowly misses as this Yorick's continuing to split up the top lane as he's just looking to push 4-1 on this competition. As they're just trying to control this mid wave. They're sending 5. Yorick's on that top, just eating out Wukong, looking for that engage. He's just going to get pushed out by Marzipan, and that Melio value is coming through. Cusco looking inside of Aris, maybe getting a little bit out of hand and step here, and he will be going down. As the ultimate does go down, another one gets traded in for the Amumu. The both junglers do go down. Kosi on that side lane looking, Gray Man doing as much damage as he possibly can. But on the other side of the map, Cusco's also taking out the ad inhibitor. The second turret for this game does go down as they're continuously looking for this game number 2. And Bog Dogs just takes the victory.
Okay. I think that Waldo's had a very, very small window towards the end of that last siege where Yorick was top lane. You probably could find an angle to 5v4 mid. They did look for that, but the melee Q is really good to push the Wukong away. That was basically their only look, and at that point, you're pretty much not going to win. So, oh man, that was a fantastic game. Bog Dogs had a really, really good early game. Had a really good snowball into the mid game and some of the late game fights. The biggest MVP in this game, I have to say, is going to be Cusco. His split pushing was phenomenal. His TP usage of utilizing the pressure that he had top to basically affect 2 lanes at once is going to be, it's just immaculate. Like really, really good play. What do you think about this game? Anyone that stand out to you? Any plays that stand out to you?
Just that continuous play on the bot lane as they just can look and punish the ADC, making sure he never gets online. As I believe that Wukong and Rise just played it very well, but MVP just for that Yorick pick, pretty nasty.
Yeah, going into I guess real quick before we get into draft 3, there's a lot of good neutral takes, a lot of good picks before getting onto the objective. And this is, I think, maybe Waldo's kryptonite is if they aren't able to get to the objective first, the idea of doing a vision retake seems like it may not be quite up to par. So if they don't get ahead early, trying to convert that into mid game might be kind of difficult. I did see them do it really well against in the ETS series, but maybe this was just a little bit more difficult. We do see that King Duckling on these enchanters, he just can't have enough impact because he's playing a scaling pick. He doesn't have the early game pressure. So talking about the next draft, I guess one thing I kind of want to see is maybe just talking about the difference between draft 1 and draft 2 is that draft 2, they definitely didn't have the same amount of power picks that they did in draft 1. So you can see that Waldo's felt like they were wavering a little bit. So in draft 3, we're going to see even less power picks available. The Elise and Nocturne are being permabanned. Wukong is out of the pool. Xin Zhao's out of the pool. I'm interested to see what the junglers play from this position. But also, I want to see Duckling on an engage support. Maybe you ban the Braum. Maybe you look to early pick like a Leon or something, which is probably his next best engage support, and just play around a very strong invade style bot lane, which is basically what Waldo's early game success formula is. Is there anything you're looking to see out of this game 3 draft?
The same back-to-back action. Both these drafts were completely fine in my book. It just went in favor on which team was more proactive, and that would be Bog Dogs at the end of the day, creating those opportunities for the Ash, Mumu, and top lane just controlling the map and that late game scaling from the Rise. Some late game picks are working out for both these sides. So
Mm-hmm.
this is good for both sides. I'm excited for number 3.
Yeah, we're gonna get into game 3 draft pretty soon, shortly after this upcoming break. Is there anything that any last words on game 2 or game 2 draft or game 3 coming up that you want to say before we go to Drake? Before we go to
Just
break?
good luck, ladies and gentlemen. And are you not excited for Bog Dogs and Waldos for this game number 3?
All right. I guess we'll have to see after the break. Sorry, I'm also getting chats. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna cut to a break right now. You guys stay right there. This game 3 is going to be a banger. We have guaranteed 2 more games in this best of 5 series. Do not go anywhere.
Are we on break? Nope. Well then,
Muted. Okay, now I'm unmuted. Sorry about that, you guys. Again, welcome back. Welcome back to the Spring Split Archives playoffs here in the upper division between Bog Dogs and Waldo's Weirdos as the draft is currently getting underway. If you can't tell right away, the voice is slightly different. Okay. Shout out to Leo, our man, for jumping in, for helping us out, for covering for me for a little bit because I had some things to do. But I'm here. We'll get into some of that in just a little bit. For now, the draft's going on, so we're gonna go ahead and talk to the draft chaos. What are you seeing here in the draft, man?
Yeah, really interesting stuff already. So we're seeing some picks and bans be just completely different. So inside the Bog Dogs, they're gonna just keep the same three bans through the whole series. It looks like, but Waldo's looks like they're changing it up. I think partially due to the fact that Waldo's is now second pick for this draft, when Waldo's was first pick game one and game two. And we do see the J4 sale. I'll talk about that in just a second. The Yanni pick, it looks like it's been banned. It was banned last game, and last time they banned J4 and Karma. This time they're banning Poppy and Annie, which is really interesting because now Bog Dogs is able to take the J4 away. Waldo's won't have the Poppy answer. Maybe Waldo's didn't expect Bog Dogs to go for the J4v1. So I guess Waldo's will have to see. Like a lot of the power picks are out in game one and game two. So game two is gonna be a very different style of draft. You're not coming in for this R1. Is there anything that you're looking to see out of this draft?
I don't think there's anything in particular. I got to be honest with you. I think Bog Dogs, like just from watching game one and game two, right? I think they have a pretty solid game plan, and I think they have a good idea of the things that they want to do in these games. And I think they should just follow that trend. So what I'm hoping to see here is Cusco picking another champion that is really good in the side lane, really good at putting pressure on these side waves. Because the rest of the Bog Dogs, that group, that core four that you're talking about outside of Cusco, they've been playing together for quite some time, man. They've been a team now for I don't know, a year or so, or just under a year. So they have really good chemistry. I think this strategy that they're doing is actually a really good one for their style currently. And it seems like Cusco's champion pool kind of fits that, right? So I'm interested to see which champion is going to come out of Cusco in this one, and which one he is looking to kind of push down that top lane with.
Absolutely. That's a really good. That's a really good call out. Like Cusco fits in perfectly, right? The Bogdogs has a strong core four, and then you have your split push side that's always going to pull pressure. And then how Bogdogs can utilize that pressure is going to be the name of the game. Now we see going back to draft, we see Yunara and Shen being picked up for the side of Waldo's Weirdos. Yunara, fantastic pick. Blind, just really solid pick. Good into the J4 as well. Shen, I'm thinking is just like to play a front to back peel style comp with Yunara. It might even be a jungle top flex. We'll have to see in just a second. And then Bogdan's answering with the Sivir Karma. Very strong, oppressive lane bully. It's going to be really hard for Yunara to actually win there. And then Sivir picking it alongside the J4 means that Sivir doesn't have to play in against J4. So really, again, really strong bot side, 3 kind of core. Looking for some kind of a mage coming out. Maybe Ari would be kind of good. Maybe like Hui would be kind of good. Just anything, or Mel would be kind of good. Or maybe not in this draft. But like looking for something that could synergize well with this team fight style comp that Bogdogs has. I like that they ended up picking a Mumu on 2. Last time the Trundle did not seem like it was going to be doing a lot of work in that game 1. Getting Demon Major on that engage support and having the rest of Bogdog supplemental damage, I think that's their winning formula.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we're kind of seeing that draft come to life right now. The only issue with what you said, right, is you mentioned that mage mid, but we have a Galio locked in for the side of Waldo, so I don't know what mages you're going to want to play against that can kind of
Yeah.
stay relevant, you know.
That's a good point. You could probably opt in for some kind of AD champ, like you can go like Yone, but then maybe Waldo's gets a really good like Malphite angle. But I guess if you're forcing Waldo's into a Malphite top lane, then I'm sure Bogdogs has a top R5 that is ready to counter. I guess you also could pick things like Azir. You could pick maybe like an Orianna, like Veigar, Vex, like things that maybe Galio. I mean, that's what I know about mid lane, but like maybe things that don't really have as much pressure. Like Galio won't be able to pressure like super heavily. But yeah, I mean, kind of Bogdos is just needs a little bit of AT damage somewhere. And I think they have a really solid draft here. The Galio steal away from Bogdogs is also pretty good too.
I know that top lane is not your forte. Like I know that's not your bread and butter, but we did see the Renekton ban by Bogdog. So based on what we were talking about with Cusco, what do you think? Like what kind of champions are they trying to keep maybe Renekton from being played against? I don't know what he counters necessarily.
On paper, I know that Renekton counters Mbessa, which is what I actually thought that they were going to draft, but it does seem like Bogdog's style is to put him on the split pusher, and Mbessa is more of a team fight flanker, could do really well with engage. I don't think Bogdogs right now has that kind of CC lockdown that Mbessa would like. Yours. So we'll get to we pick in just a second. I like the Rel pickup from Waldo's for the side of Duckling. I think the Braum was banned initially, maybe with the intention of early picking an engage support, but now Rel was picked up, really solid to create that kind of playmaking potential that Duckling wants out of these engage type supports. And then obviously the Alawi is being picked up. That fits kind of Bogdog's team comp strategy. They want Kuzco on that split pusher, which Alawi is definitely fantastically known for. So we'll have to see what Bogdogs does. That Shen and Galli are technically flexes, so they should have some kind of answer to stop Alawi from being the menace that Cusco showed that he can do in game 1, game 2. The Veigar is also a fantastic pickup into the engage of Waldo's. Really strong, like siege, really strong range, and just really strong combo overall by Bogdogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Whole Grain Man being on the mid lane there for Bogdogs, Vigar is definitely a champion we should have expected. But I just I think the good thing for the Vigar in this one is you're against Gallia obviously, and that's kind of rough. But at the same time, all you really want to do is farm for 25 minutes, right? So I don't. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
I think that's kind of good for their side, and I got to be transparent. And I don't know if you mentioned this. I'm going to be honest. I got distracted talking on the side here in Discord. I'm getting some messages, but this Alawi, I don't know if you mentioned that yet. But what are we looking at here? Why is Alawi in my game right now?
Because it's Cusco's Alawi. It just kind of fits like the mold that Bogdogs want to create with a split push threat and then a strong 4 core. So I really like the way that Bogdogs drafted here. What's kind of interesting is this Mordekaiser pick. Now, I personally really hate this champion. Like playing against this champion, I think Mordekaiser is just kind of ruins games. Just like the existence of the fact that you can just remove a champion is huge. Now, I don't know how the Mordekaiser. I'm assuming that's a Mordekaiser top lane, so they're gonna flex the Shen into the jungle. I don't know how the Mordekaiser interaction works with Alawi and if the tentacles go through or not. If the tentacles don't go through, the Mordekaiser is a fantastic pick into the Alawi as an answer. I'm hoping that this time Kuso doesn't get super ahead and allows Waldos to play out the kind of fantasy that they want to play out with the engage support, potentially with some early invades, and then play your front to back style. That's kind of what I'm looking for out of this game.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Any game where there's a Shin on your team, I tend to always kind of lean to that side. So while I really like the Bog Dogs draft, I'm going to be honest with you, just because Shin is on Waldo's, I feel like they might take this game. That's one of those champions where that ultimate, I think, is just such a huge impact on the game as a whole. But what about you, man? Before we go into a slight break here when they start the game, what's your prediction here? Who do you think is going to take game 3?
And this is kind of tough. So Bogdogs is coming into game 3 with a really strong game 2 performance, but they have a really strong composition. My worry from Waldo's side is that they just lack damage. Their primary DPS threat is only Yunara, and you're gonna have to get through J4 and then Karma Shields, and trying to dive into the long range composition of Sivir or Veigar might be kind of tough. I actually think I might give this game to Bogdogs. Looks like we have a little bit of a technical issue on the side of the starting the game.
Okay, I think we're good to go now. I think you got leader there somehow. But anyway, guys, as far as the game goes, I think I'm really this game right here is really. I think this right here is kind of the how do I say this, like the most important game of this match, right? Like this is the match. Like honestly, I kind of expected an early one game for one side, one game for another side, but I think this is the game that really matters, right? Because so far we've had what was a pretty dominating game 1 for Waldo's. I don't think it was super close. And then, of course, kind of a similar. I think Leo mentioned it in his stream, kind of a mirror in game 2, where Bogdogs kind of just took over and kind of made the game into their own image. And this game right here will kind of shape that, right? Because so far in this tournament, we've only played best of 3s, right? We've only had 3 games.
Yeah.
This is the first best of 5 for both of these teams, so I don't know what champions could come out in Game 4 and Game 5.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we're going to see a Game 5. We're already seeing some very different picks in Game 4, mostly out of the side of Cusco, and playing some very suspect top laners that I don't think most top laners would like to play against. But I guess we'll have to see. Rogue Slasher put something really interesting in the chat that Veigar ults Yunara and Waldos has no damage. So I guess we'll have to see how Bogdogs plays this.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, guys, we are coming up on our break here. It looks like the game will get underway after the spectator delay is over, so about 3 minutes. So I'm going to mute us real quick for just a moment. We're going to take a slight break, and when we get back, Chaos and I, this Mr. Monstar, by the way, if that hasn't been made clear to anyone out there, we will be back, and we'll get this game 3 rocking. Thank you, guys. Welcome back, everybody. We are back with Game 3 of the Archive Spring Split Upper Division Playoffs. This is the losers final, guys. So this is a best of 5. So this is not the last game here. We are going to have some more games after this, but nonetheless, Game 3 we're here, and we have an interesting matchup specifically in the top lane. So let's run through it. Right, we have for the side of Bog Dogs on the blue team. We have Cusco on Alawi. We have Demon Major on Jarvan. We have Whole Grain Man on Vigar. Root Hala is playing the Stiver, and Marzipans is on Karma this game. As we see a little bit of back and forth here between the Alawi and Mordekaiser. Typical top lane crap, trying to duke it out before the minions even touch. And Alawi kind of pushing the Mordekaiser off here, actually. Very interesting. Again, that Mordekaiser being played by Kosti for Waldo's Weirdos. Eris on the Shen in the jungle, Maiko, I'm not 100% sure on that, my apologies, is on the Galio in the mid lane, Monkey playing the Yunara, and King Duckling is playing Rel in this game, back on his patented tankier, engagier, kind of CC bot supports instead of that enchanter that he played in the last game. So I'm actually curious to see how that plays out. Chaos, how are you feeling? What are the matchups you're most focused on this game?
Well, first off, I'm happy that there's no crazy all-in level 1 that we've been seeing in the past 2 games. It's a little bit standard, at least from a team perspective. We see that there is a complete all-in happening in level 1. We see the Ignite being burned, we see Flash being burned. So what I'm interested to see is, I think this mid lane is going to be a nothing burger. I don't know how much this Alawi is actually going to be able to create a lot of pressure by himself, because last time Cusco did have the York counter into the Mundo, which did put in a lot of work. This time he had the Mordekaiser counter into the Alawi, so I assume top lane is going to not be as crazily one-sided as it was. So it really just comes down to bot lane. We see how King Duckling is now on Rel, so he has that engaged support to try to create some early game pressure. You have a risk pathing down on the Shen, which they ended up actually flexing, which was really intelligent. So now we have the River Shen, but J4 again is pathing topside to try to maybe get this win con of Alawi going. Kind of does make sense. When you're weak siding Silver Karma, they're going to be able to neutralize the lane and scale really well into game. So I want to see Silver Karma, maybe, since they are being weak sided now that I realize that, is probably just go even, and you're going to scale really well. I want to see Waldo's jungle support duo look to try to create some early game plays, and then maybe if we can even see the Mordekaiser get ahead, then I think Waldo's has a really solid chance of winning. But at the end of the day, in these team fights, it's going to come down to the Yunara. Yunara is their only damage. You're going to have to get through a lot to make sure that this Yunara can be your primary carry.
Yeah, protecting that Yunara is obviously the name of the game, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't think that they've built the best Protect the President comp in the world to do just that. Like, trying to make a little cheeky 4-man play here by as Galio and Shin walk forward, but nothing going to come out of that, as Sivir and Karma, of course, playing it very safe in a very safe lane. They don't really have too much to worry about. Now, you mentioned this being like a weak side bot lane, and I recognize that Jarvan is pathing top, but I wonder if this is actually a weak side bot lane. With the way Bogdogs plays, with the way they've been playing, it would be really surprising to see them put a lot of attention into this Alawi. And I'm thinking maybe they just wanted to mix up the tempo a little bit, maybe throw off Waldo's. I'm not 100% sure. This is not my expertise. I'm not the color caster here, but for me, it feels like this is not typical of them, as we see Shin about to kind of make a little play here on Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser doing a really good job baiting that down. Alawi going in, does get Mordekaiser really low, does not claim the kill, though, and is going to get first blooded by the Shin. Great job by the Mordekaiser there. Really, really good job of being able to stay alive there with like 7 HP, being able to kind of walk away there. Good job by Shin. Good job by Eris for making that play, and first blood does go right over to Eris. And one thing I noticed from the first 2 games to now is this jungler Eris, man. He's someone to watch out for, dude. He's good. He's even in the last game when the rest of the team was down pretty bad, he was positive KDA. So this guy plays good.
Yeah, that was a.
Oh my goodness, as we see Jarvan, here we go, going up cover. Great jump out of there by Galio, just trying to avoid that gank with Jarvan and Karma both coming. So Karma going to lose a little bit of time there in the bot wave, but of course Rel kind of falling in behind, so not going to lose too much necessarily. Anyway, back to what you were saying, Chaos, what was that?
Yeah, so they kind of did the same thing this game that they did last game, where Karma might be dead here.
Oh yeah, we see another little engage here. Shin, just misses the taunt, so they're not able to pull that Karma in. And Galio with the ulti on top of them. Jarvan getting really low, below half HP, is able to EQ out of there. Yeah, great job by the Jarvan.
Yeah, so good play from the side of Waldo's to utilize the fact that Galio just hit level 6 to force that fight mid, and they're going to try to convert that into a Drake, knowing that J4 has to probably concede. Actually, we don't even know about that. Sivir's get bot pushed, so they're going to walk up to maybe look to contest this Drake.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yunara can't really move over. This could be dangerous for the side of Waldo's. This could be a bad play. And a flash in by Vygar with the E, the cage around it, but able to get 2 members inside of there, but going really low. Probably going to be the first one to die in this fight. Shin getting low HP, does get the blast off, so a 1-for-1 trade there, but Galio now down low, able to pop the plant, get a couple of health pots, but not enough to stay alive. He's going to fall as well. It's now a 2-for-1. Bogdog's looking really good right here. Yunara comes up. And Jarvan with the jump in, able to knock Yunara up. Able to. And Karma TP, or flashes over the wall in order to claim the kill on the Yunara. Great play there I did not. I would not have expected Marzipans to jump to flash over the wall there. I was even ready for it on the cast.
Oh my god, there's also a top 1v1.
Yep. As Mordekaiser and Alawi now kind of punching each other in the face. Oh,
Flash.
great flash by Alawi, but I don't know if that's going to get you out. But Mordekaiser looking really strong. The burn kind of come off Alawi. Flash by Mordekaiser does claim the kill. 0-2 on the Alawi now. And listen, I'm not trying to say I told you so, but I'm just saying you should. And I don't know why this champion is in my game right now.
Yeah, there's so much to take away there. Like, they were just back-to-back-to-back action. So I guess the big thing to take away here is that Waldo's tried to make a mid play and it was successful, but it didn't result in any kills. So they were trying to utilize the mid pressure to control the Drake area, but Sivir is always going to get pressure in or bot prio into the Yunara. So the fact that Sivir was able to get to that wave first means that they just kind of win the fight. The Veigar flash into 3 people to cage, I forget who it was a little bit suspect, but it kind of worked out. It just kind of like threw Waldo's for a spin, and then because Sivir was able to get there, they were able to win the fight. They were able to clean up all the kills that they needed to get to get, and then they were able to take the Drake off of that. So overall, top lane is behind. That's something to watch out for. However, the strong 4 core of Bogdogs is up 4 kills to 1. They're up 500 gold. They're up a Drake. I think the Alawi is always going to have some level of pressure inside and is going to always pull people, which is kind of what split pushers do. And if you get behind, you're always going to have pressure inside. So I would still say that Bogdog is in a very commanding position off of that early game scuffle.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I think this Sivir, being able to just obviously W and Q every wave and push it, like you mentioned, is super something that I don't think a lot of people think about when they're looking at these kind of games, right? Like, it's so easy for the Sivir to claim prio over this, and I don't think we talk about that enough. So I'm really, really glad you mentioned that. As we kind of see, look again, like, she's getting pushed in, but what does it take her? All of 7 seconds to completely clear that wave if she wants to. So yeah, and to what you're saying about the core 4 of Bogdogs being strong, I mean, honestly, you're looking at Sivir 2-0 right now, Karma 1-0, Jarvan 1-0 and 3 right there. So you don't want to count out those assists there for the Jarvan. Like, they're playing really well. The thing is they're keeping up in CS during all of this. So that gap between the gold is just going to continue to kind of widen, because you'd think with some of the action they would have an opportunity to get some CS back, but with all the roaming, especially from the supports, but that hasn't happened for them.
Yeah, Sivir ends up just being the queen of prio. She can basically one-shot a wave before the casters are even able to do 1 tick of damage, and there's no other ADC that can match that level of pressure, especially when you get that Essence Reaver. Just every wave is new. So Sivir is going to basically have perma prio into Yunara unless you facilitate her. So that was big for that first fight. Again, like, that core 4, I think, is just going to be really strong, because like the way that they want to play, the team fights that they want to take.
A little bit of a 1v1 here. Alawi does ulti, but not really able to get off a ton of damage there. Luckily, Mordekaiser able to look, and this is my issue with Alawi, right? Just able to kind of Mordekaiser just able to kind of walk right out of the ulti there, and it's like nothing ever happened. You have to be able.
Good for Bogdogs though. Since Cusco was able to pick like a split push champion, sorry to cut you off, but like, since Cusco was able to pick a split push champion, it fits their mold. So he also had to blind his split push champion. Oh, Channels.
Oh no! Yeah, Mordekaiser gonna get killed there again. Another kill taken over by the Shen instead of giving it to the I don't know, personally, probably want to try to give that over to the Mordekaiser. You already got the one early that kind of got you the lead there. Shen being more of the tanky kind of a supporty character, you may not necessarily want to give kills over to them, but it's fine, right? It doesn't really matter as long as Mordekaiser now gets the time to kind of free farm, gets a good back here, able to reset the wave, and he's going to be in a good position when he gets back in that Alawi. I'm just saying, 0-3 now. I know it fits the mold, but this champion specifically, like, I just feel like there were so many better options. I think that, like, you could have played Olaf and probably done the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. There were just other options, I think. And Alawi just one of those champions for me that is almost so reliant in my eyes of being in the jungle, right? You have to be in the jungle when you ulti, like, in order to kind of keep them in a in a small area. If you're in one of the lanes and you have room to just run away, like, it kind of negates the whole ult.
Yeah, Alawi definitely wants to be in close spaces. When you said Alawi should be in the jungle, I'm like, well, Alawi jungle? Is that even a thing? I've never seen that before, but yeah, Alawi definitely wants to kind of be in these close spaces and have multiple people around her. But it was still a good pickup by our Waldo on the top side to get that kill onto Alawi. J4 wasn't able to make anything happen on the bot side. Ooh, wait, the EQ stop.
Yep, a little bit of an engage here. Rel going inside. Luckily, the Vigar cage stops Rel in her tracks. A little bit of control. I think maybe this is like posturing for the dragon that's up now. Bogdogs was able to take that first dragon, so Waldo's going to be, definitely interested in trying to fight for this next one. They do have a pretty good control over there, but Ilawi is TPing in.
TP's down.
Oh, Galio does get the taunt off onto Vigar. Vigar in a really bad position now. 2 members on top of him.
Nice flash.
Great flash there by the Vigar. Jarvan, though, by himself, taking a lot of damage. Luckily, they're able to kind of refight that. Stiver and Alawi now join this fight here. This could be a rough position for Waldo's now that all 5 members are here. But Mordekaiser showing up on the backline. Jarvan unaware. And all of a sudden, the Waldo's Weirdos are pushing blue back. It looks like they're walking away. Maybe going towards that dragon. Maybe got to reposition themselves now inside of that river there. Nope, it looks like Waldo's going to take their L there, I guess. Realize that they have 3 members of their team that are way too low. And just give this second dragon over. Even though Mordekaiser and Yunar are kind of walking back up, I don't know if this is a good idea. Mordekaiser getting really low, really fast. Not really sure what you're doing. Shin is able to use his ulti in, but Mordekaiser going to die anyway. I don't really know what they were going for there.
Hey, I mean, Mordekaiser ulted the Alawi. Mordekaiser was up an item and a half, and Alawi just 1v1'd her. 1v1'd him. So I don't know. Maybe the Alawi stonks could be going up here. But just to break that fight down a little bit. So they initially went for the Veigar, but they weren't able to synchronize their engage because of the Veigar cage and the fact that Galio went a little bit too deep. Veigar able to flash out, and then they ended up burning, I think, like, what was that, like 3 or 4 ultimates for basically no kills. And so now with the mid pressure that they've acquired, I don't think anything can happen here. But the mid pressure they've acquired, they just walk down and just take the Drake. That's 2 Drakes on the side of Bogdogs. They're already starting up really strong early.
Oh, yeah, a little aggression by Mordekaiser here. Oh, good flash by Alawi.
Good flash.
Smart, but Yunara and Rel. Oh, Yunara and Rel here to cut him off. Unfortunately, I think that's a dead Alawi. Not going to make it to the portal. Nope, not unable to make it, and that's going to be a dead Alawi. And again, another death by Kuzco. And he did a lot in that last game. I won't lie. Really, really well played in game 2. But right here in game 3, if you look at things, all the deaths are kind of on him. I think he needs to figure out a way maybe to slow it down just a little. I know he wants to apply that pressure. But right now, the only pressure you're applying is giving over kills to the side of Waldo. So down 30.
They did send 3 people. They sent 3 people to kill the Alawi there. But on the bright side, Veigar was able to get a lot of play spot. And for what it's worth, I think Alawi is always going to pose a threat. I think if Alawi knows her limits, she should...
Oh, interesting EQ there by Jarvan, able to get a lot of damage off on the Galio there, but not quite enough. That Galio being pretty inherently tanky.
This is the second time we've seen that. It's actually a pretty cool interaction. If J4 EQs the Galio E's away, and then after the EQ completes, Galio's able to just stun the J4. It does kind of lock him in place, though, because he's going to have to flash out of the Veigar cage. It's a pretty cool interaction to kind of stop the J4 from actually locking the Galio down. And we do see that there's certain one item spikes are coming out from on the side of like both teams, and the next dragon is going to be in 3 minutes when we see the Herald up in 15. So I'm expecting kind of an explosive fight if both teams want to play for. I think this fight is still anyone's game. There's not even a 1k lead on either side. All the ults up, 1 item spikes. This Herald might be a very big fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Herald is going to be really good. I got to be honest with you, I don't know if Bogdog should necessarily prioritize this Herald. I think they should focus on maybe continuing to kind of get a little bit further ahead, waiting on these dragons. Like, they already have 2. If I was them, I would be focused on stacking the dragons personally. As we see Shin use the blasting cone there to try to catch up with Karma. Not going to be able to, but Yunara getting a slow off on Jarvan. Nothing really doing there. I think it's just a little bit of posturing. But again, I just personally for me, they have a slight advantage. While it's not a ton, it's enough that it's warranted to say, hey, we have a small advantage. Maybe we don't go too crazy for this Herald, especially with Alawi being kind of low right now, or potentially even dead.
Yeah.
Maybe give this one over and focus on getting your vision game, like kind of set up for that bot. It looks like Vigar is going to be able to push a little bit deeper down. Actually, this could be a little bit rough by Waldo's. That's going to be a tier 2, some plates off of that tier 2 coming in right now.
Yeah, I don't like that Ruhala was like looking to pressure. He could just maybe take in even more plates than that. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it was a good decision by Bogdogs to just give up the Herald there. They already have 2 Drakes. Veigar took an entire turret bot. I think maybe a couple of extra plates on the T2 bot. So overall, I think gold-wise, macro trade is very good for the side of Bog Dogs. Now, Waldos could use this Herald for tempo advantage on this next Drake, but that's pretty much all they're going to get. Like, Herald, I think, is kind of like a whatever objective. You're going to trade stuff somewhat equal back anyways. So they could use this Herald for this Drake, or they could just give it and play something else. So I still think that Bogdos will win this Drake fight, though, if it comes down to a 4v4.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, the really scary part for Waldo's, regardless of what the rest of the game looks like, is Veigar is sitting on 170 CS right now, and has been just kind of sitting in the sideways, just farming, and the more he gets to just kind of free farm, the more he gets to just kind of sit, the closer he gets to kind of that that late game power spike that Veigar likes to get into. As we do see Cusco go down again here, you see me not even kind of getting hyped about that, because it's the 5th time it's happened in the last 17 minutes already. So really just kind of over push there. Like, I don't know what you're doing there. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally. I obviously have dug at Cusco a little much. This man is undefeated in the league. This split hasn't lost in any series. So you know, there's a lot of expectations on his shoulders, and so far in this game, maybe regretting the Alawi pick.
Yeah, I like the idea that even if you're going to die in the 1v1, like, you can keep the Mordekaiser with you, because if Bogdars are trying to contest the Dragon and then Mordekaiser shows up and ults the J4, you're not going to be able to take it. So the timing of the pressure was incorrect, because now Mordekaiser is able to walk down, and now it's going to be a full 5v5. If it's a 5v5 and Mordekaiser gets a really good ult, well, I guess Mordekaiser doesn't have ult. So honestly, in that 5v5, the top laners don't have ult. I'm still going to say that Bogdars is a little bit stronger. As he said, that Veigar is very strong too.
Veigar just used his cage, though, so not going to have a cage for this potential 5v5 here. He needs to wait just a few seconds for that to come up. As Dragon's starting to get really low. Veigar coming on the flank. They do engage in on Jarvan, though. Jarvan down below half HP a little bit there. Weird little fight. Not a lot of damage coming out by either team. Okay, finally Jarvan ulti in, and they're chasing Yunara down. Veigar on top of him does get the pick off onto Yunara, but Alawi really low here. Going to go ahead and go down again. Galio getting low as well. Jarvan and Sivir kind of beating the snot out of him, and that one Mordekaiser does engage here on the Jarvan. And the Sivir, but Sivir just sitting there throwing pot shots in as Jarvan takes all of the damage. Veigar a little bit behind, so not a lot of damage able to just come out yet. Sivir doing such a great job kiting. Oh my goodness, this Sivir is just... I wonder how much damage... I wish we could see how much damage Sivir just did in that team fight, as they are going to be able to clean up these last 2 kills. Veigar and Jarvan on a little bit of a spine here. As quadra kill coming out from Mordekaiser. My man here is doing work. Like I said, just getting all those kills early on to the Alawi. Unfortunately, not able to pull up the Penta. The Veigar, though, doing a great job kind of finishing up there. And most likely going to be able to... nope, Yunara does show up. That fight took so long that Yunara was able to die and respawn and come back and save the mid-turret. As Veigar does throw the cage on top of Yunara. Not going to try to go for the kill there. You know, low mana already. Probably not the right move necessarily, but 1 Q there just did a third of Yunara's health. So maybe Yunara needs to be a little careful.
Yeah, that fight was really... Oh, Veigar has ult. He's trying. Okay, he didn't find it. Yeah, that fight was definitely really weird from both sides. I think initially I was critical of the fact that Veigar was basically flanking, and Jay Waldos wasn't able to capitalize on that. But it turned out that the entire Waldos tried to walk up through the top side of the river choke, and then that means that Bogdanos could just kind of run in and just clean house. The Veigar ended up flashing over the wall to, I think, also kill the Yunara there. Unfortunately, that Sivir ended up getting pulled by the last Mordekaiser E. Otherwise, I think she would have got a lot more damage. That Mordekaiser is turning into a raid boss in these team fights. So to your point, Alawi needs to be able to pull Mordekaiser into a side lane to disallow him from making an impact in these fights. I think that is how these split pushers work, is that you're eliminating a strong member just to answer your push, because if they don't answer your push, you're going to take their whole base. So even if you're 0-6, you're still a champion and you can take turrets. So this next fight that's coming up on the gonna be on the Baron, maybe on the Drake. I want Alawi bot side, and I want her to be pulling people to the side.
Oh, as Veigar does get pulled in by Mordekaiser. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought Mordekaiser was going to go hard for that, as we see 3 members of Waldo's coming in down. Karma is too far behind. I don't think going to be able to make it in time to save this Veigar.
Cage.
Good cage. Just get 2 stuns. Oh my god, he might be able to pick up the kill onto Mordekaiser. Oh, he does. He's able to try to kill, and he gets the kill onto the rail. Oh, Marzipan picks up that kill. Oh no, Waldo's, man. Like I was saying, like someone said earlier, where's Waldo, man? You need your Waldo there. Kosi right there, unfortunately, just got absolutely dunked on. That page was insane, and a little bit of a quiet Baron take here by the Bogdogs. This is cheeky right here for sure. I would not expect this out of the Bogdogs, a team that is typically known for doing things by the book, but there are 2 members down, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it in time.
Yeah, I don't think you need to feel that desperate as Waldo's to make a play onto the Veigar. Veigar is on the side. You could just look for some kind of, Baron bait into pulling the Veigar TP. That dive was just disastrous. The Veigar is able to get like 2 kills. And I also think, I don't know how the Mordekaiser ulted there, but Shen didn't get his ult off there. Maybe that Shen ult would have changed the fight. Really good roam by the Karma to like protect the Veigar. That also gives him a topside Baron take. Now Bogdogs is in a very commanding position. If they weren't before, they're definitely in now. So you're going to use this Baron to maybe take some T2s or at least get jungle control for this next Ducking Drake.
Dude, that Baron take, I think when this series is over and we're at the end of Game 4 or hopefully Game 5, I think we're going to look back on that Baron take right there as the moment where like the series kind of swapped, because like Game 1 and Game 2 were such kind of stomps, and here in this game we've seen kind of a pretty tight game. But that Baron take right there, that call to just say, hey, look, we killed the Mordekaiser bot lane. We have 30 seconds or so until this man spawns. Let's go ahead and just 3-4 man this Baron. I think that could be potentially the play of the series, the call of the series.
Yeah, definitely a really good call to take the Baron when they saw that 2 or 3 people are bot side and dead. That Baron is going to get them basically the complete map. Now they really, if they want to, they don't have to go for any more fights. They could just completely go for Macro. They just play out ways. And I mean, look at Sivir Karma, or like how Sivir Veigar.
Oh, as Rel does get a quick engage onto 3 people there. Great flash by Veigar to get out of there. Unfortunately, though, not able to kind of save the Sivir. Sivir going to go down really early. Jarvan with a great ulti, able to kind of cascade a few people off. They do get the pick off on the Sivir, but the fighting is kind of slowing down now. Mordekaiser does pull the Karma in. Unfortunately, not able to kind of claim the kill there. As Mordekaiser going in 1v4. I don't know where your team is, but you need to be a little careful there. Yep, does come out of the ulti there, and unfortunately is in a terrible position. You did not want to be there. Alawi doing a great job kind of taking up all that damage, while Mordekaiser was able to, while Bogdags was able to wait for Mordekaiser to come out of that ulti. Really, really great job by the Bogdags to kind of weather that team fight there. Mordekaiser almost did what he needed to do, but unfortunately not able to kind of claim what he needed to do there, and showed up in the middle of 4 people and immediately got exploded.
Yeah, that was a really good look by Waldo. Like they're already behind, and they found a really fantastic engage onto the Bogdogs. I have to be a little bit critical of Weirdos might be in the fight.
Yep, here we go. Shin again alone in there.
Oh my God,
huge damage by the Veigar. Oh my goodness, I thought that Shin would die for sure, but does not. Oh, as Sivir comes in on the side, I didn't even see the Sivir. I was paying attention to that as Sivir comes in and picks up 2 kills real quick on the Yunara and Rel. Great little flank there. I was so focused on the Shin barely escaping 1 HP. I did not even see the Sivir coming in from the side there. Great double kill.
Man, there's so much action. So the first time, like Waldo had a really good engage, and they just kind of fumbled it. They had a really good kill onto Sivir in the fight, but then Veigar just being able to control the jungle spaces is really good for the champion. He's able to like weather the rest of the fight there. And then they were able to take the Drake off of the end of that play. So now Bogdags is sitting at 3 Drakes.
Mordekaiser does get the pull in on the Veigar there, but I don't know that you guys want this fight right now. It's 3v4. And Yunara and Rel are up now, but you guys need to back off there. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, but whew.
No, it's these guys are interrupting us. They just keep fighting when they shouldn't be. So yeah, but I think we do have a little bit of time. Maybe there will be some fighting top. But now at the end of this, it's Bogdags is 3 Drakes to 1. They're poised to take this next Baron as well. Looks like they're going for the Alawi though.
Oh yeah, Alawi in a terrible position here. Oh my god, but everyone jumped into that ulti. That's a lot of healing the Alawi's going to do. Probably not going to be able to live from it. Jarvan probably going to be able to escape there. A little EQ combo coming up soon, I'm sure. Maybe over the wall. Oh no, Shin does flash, and a flash by Jarvan as well. The EQ does come over the wall. There it is, able to escape. So just 1 kill picked up for the side of Waldo's.
Yeah, kind of a nothing burger fight. Like Alawi's gonna die, she's gonna respawn. Doesn't really change the fight. Sivir's still gonna be able to one-shot every wave, which is gonna deny Waldo's any opportunity to convert off of any picks. Maybe they get some waves of tempo, and maybe they can utilize that for some vision control on the top side of the Baron. But Bogdags' comp is really good, but it's also that they're executing on this comp very well. They're utilizing the Alawi to push that. They're controlling the jungle spaces with the Veigar. They're just going for your structured front-to-back team fight. They're taking every neutral off the map. It's 3 dragons to 1, and they had a Baron. They also have a mid inhib. So at this point, they're just going to be able to take over the top side jungle, play for this next Baron, and then just close the game out clean. This is Bogdags' game to lose at this point.
Yeah, I know the first 17 minutes or so of this game were like we're super competitive, but now we're looking at almost a 7K goal lead for the side of Bogdags, and I got to be transparent. I don't see clear way for Waldo's Weirdos to kind of make their way back in here. And the reason why for me there is we kind of mentioned, we kind of hit on it early on in this game. Yunara is the only source of damage that they really have, as we see four members of Bogdogs here on
Mordekaiser's
the
in trouble.
he is most likely going to go down there as, he does, I don't know about the flash there. The Jarvan EQ does knock him up there, and that is going to be a dead Mordekaiser. And honestly, that is really poor timing for them because that is a wave that is on their side in the top wave, and they're going to be able to go ahead and push that tier 2 down. Yeah, they're pushing down the tier 1 there in the mid, and then they may even get to tier 2, but I don't think Bogdogs is like super concerned about that. They do have these super minions going down in that wave, so it's not like they're going to be able to go too far, and I think they'll win any sort of base race that is to come out of this if there was one. So I'm not sure what decision the Waldos are making here. They're finally recalling. There they go. So they do get to tier 2 to get a little bit of gold back, but yeah.
Yeah, they're never going to win that base race. Into Veigar, Sivir, Karma, you're going to have insane amount of push. It's unfortunate that Mordekaiser died there. Can't imagine if there's an actual fight happening.
Oh, as a little teleport comes in, Rel is on the back line now, or on the front line there. It's a 4v2 kind of on the front side, but everybody is in now. It's a 4v4, allowing finally ulti down there in the middle. A lot of damage coming out. Yunara so low in a terrible spot. Galio does fall, Rel falls, Veigar just doing so. Every time he ults, it takes away 70 to 90% of somebody's health bar, allowing the TP in onto the Yunara. That's another kill. 4 members down, and that is most likely going to be game for the Bogdogs. Really, really great play, Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, man, like, you're really strong, man. 7 and 5, but this 1v5 is not going to go your way, my friend. As he's immediately exploded the EQ combo from Jarvan, making him completely useless. And that is game 3 over to the Bogdogs. 2-1 now in favor of them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, really insane game. Not kind of what I expected. I thought the Shin would have so much more impact there than I felt like he really did.
I think we might be starting to see some cracks in the Waldo armor. They have a formula that works really well in game 1, and I think Waldo's is a momentum-based team, so when they're drafting kind of like this Enchanter support in the second game, and you're starting to not have as many aggressive jungle picks, it definitely feels like the macro decisions on Waldo's has some mistakes in them, and then Bogdos is doing a really good job to like punish that. Again, I think Bogdos has a really good core comp strategy where they're just going to put Cusco on this split push threat that's going to always be relevant. I mean, you could see like Cusco has 7 deaths. He's 7 out of his team's 12 deaths, but all of his deaths, I felt like to some degree were impactful. You're pulling a lot of members top lane, you're burning ultimates, and you're burning summoners so that the rest of your 4 team members can win these fights. Like Mordekaiser was strong, but he's not strong enough to beat the rest of Bogdogs. Really good objective control, really good macro, just really good fighting as well. I think the comp itself is also very simple to execute. Right? You have J4, Veigar, Sivir, which are very simple to execute comps, and then you have Shen Galio with Mordekaiser, Rel. I think they're very multifaceted. So maybe the barrier of execution is something to consider for these comps. I think that this is the thing, because like game 1 went to Waldo's, but game 2 and 3 went to Bogdogs. You can see that the momentum is in Bogdogs' favor. And then especially going into this very critical game 4, this very well could be the last game that Waldo's plays in this split. If they lose this game, they are out. What are you looking to see out of this game? What did you see out of the previous game? There's so much to talk about. There's so much to think about.
No, yeah, I agree. And this is kind of why we like the best of 5. This is kind of why these last 2 series of the middle and upper division are kind of super exciting, because best of 5s are so much fun, right? You see a lot of, like you talked about in the momentum. Sometimes in those best of 3s, you don't really get a chance to get a lot of momentum going, right? If you win game 1 and then you lose game 2, it's like game 3 and that's it, right? And so you don't get a lot of chance for that momentum. Here we get to see that, right? We get to see the Bogdogs with 2 wins in a row. They're feeling good. They're game plan is working, right? So they're, they kind of, it's obvious, I think, to everyone watching that they have a clear strategy. They want their core forward to kind of build up and get strong in that bot and mid wave, and they want that top lane to kind of, side pressure. Now in that one, the Alawi unfortunately didn't do so hot in the individual like lane area. But once the team fighting started, it was interesting to see kind of transition from being a side laner to like, hey, I'm here for the team fight. Like, we're so far ahead, I can kind of give up on my side wave and I've kind of already pushed what I need to push, and I can come help you guys kind of win. And I think that it shows Bogdog's ability to kind of flex their game plan a little bit, even in the middle of the game. And if they can take that momentum, they can take their game plan, they can apply it to this next game. I honestly think it's scary for Waldo's. Like, I don't know what they're going to have to do. Like, I think what we're going to need to see is some kind of interesting picks come out from the side of Waldo, maybe some comfort picks that they haven't shown yet. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously the Elise is never going to get through for Eris, but maybe there's another jungler champion out there he's got in his back pocket that he can kind of pick out to help. But they're going to need to do something. And I think what we're going to have to really see, like if you're asking me, anytime I see Waldo's doing well, I see Monkey playing well, right? Like all the games, if you look back at their history, any game where Monkey is able to play well, they tend to either win the game or it's at least a really close game, and they have a bunch of chances to win. And I think that last game that Unara just got shut down so hard, it was the only damage on the team. And when
Yeah.
and when you're the only damage on the team and you're shut down, like how do you kind of play those team fights, right? You don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. We already see some art drafts coming out, so maybe we'll have to go into draft even before a break, which would be fantastic. Just get this game over with. Get into the fourth game. I'm already excited. But to your point, I think getting Monkey ahead could be a really good win con for them. Typically they've been playing around a wrist, which also has had a lot of success. So if they're going to play around a wrist in this next game, I don't think I want him on a Shen. I think I want him on some kind of carry or bruiser. I want to see an Mbessa. I want to see. Obviously Nocturne's going to be. I want to see a Pantheon. I want to see a Silas. I think these types of champions where Arist is able to make his own plays and have his own damage to work off of. I think that's kind of what they need from a jungle perspective. And from a support perspective, I like the rel. I like the fact that Waldo's even from behind they were looking to fight and they did find some really good angles. I just think that they put way too much damage into the Yunara, and then if Yunara can't do damage, then it's gonna be really hard. Also, Yunara is never gonna be able to kill the Sivir Veigar, so you need a supplemental damage source. So I think looking back at draft a little bit, maybe if instead of the Galio there, maybe their worry was that we want to take the Galio away from Block Dogs, but I think maybe you just draft like whatever engage support that you can find there, and then you could either ban Galio or I would just say just ban Galio and pick something else. I think I just want a little bit more damage out of that composition. And then again to your point, I think we'll have to see how they draft around their bot side. I think engage support again is good. Maybe some kind of carry bruiser jungle is good. Hyperscaling ADC is good. And Bogdash, I think just do what you've been doing, right? Just play your split push top, play a strong four core, and then just take this third game or take this fourth game.
Yeah, I'm always a proponent of more League of Legends, so I definitely, I definitely want to kind of see Waldo's come back in this game for it and win. But at the end of the day, I want to see good League of Legends, and whatever that looks like is whatever that looks like. If that means that Bog Dogs wins this game, that's fine. As we do see the first bans come out for this draft. It is, I think, the same bands that we
Interesting.
have. No, maybe Annie is a different band, right?
Now Annie, at least they've been banning Annie the last three games. I think they banned the Braum game 2 and 3, or sorry, game 3 and 4. Or I keep forgetting this is best of 5. So they've been banned Braum 3 and 4, but they banned Saya. That's a new one. So that tells me Waldo's wants to pick some kind of dive comp. So maybe I'm looking for like a Vi or an Ambessa jungle. We already see a B1 Ari coming out from the side of
Yeah,
Bogdogs. So
the first pick, Ari, very interesting there. I, I'm thinking. Here's my thought. Here's my thought. Hear me out. All right. Hear me out. Whole grain, man. As we know, this split. I got to be transparent. And you know this because you're on K5 and you have the MVP of the winter split here at the archives, the legend himself, Yoshai, on your team. And coming into the split, we all we all kind of thought, hey, Yoshai was the best mid laner in the league last split. He'll probably be the best mid laner in this league. And I think Whole Grain Man has really come on strong. So maybe Bog Dogs, they were like, yo, look, who's the best champion you have left, Whole Grain Man? All right, and they were like, lock that thing
Ooh.
in, pick one. And
Yeah. Okay. So the Ari pick. I'm sorry to cut you off.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Yoshai's Ari is actually insane. I think Ari is a very strong pick in general. She can do like a lot. I think the B1 Ari is fine. She might have some difficult lane matchups. Oh, there's a Poppy. Okay, there's so much to talk about here. Okay, so First off, the Ari pick, fantastic, really good blind. Might have some difficult mid matchups, but she can get out pretty even and do a lot in team fights. Orianna was one of those matchups I think is Orianna favored if she plays it well. I love the Nautilus pick here because they ended up banning a Braum and they also banned the Zai. So it's very clear what they want to do. They want to go for your basically your single target dive composition. And then I was immediately thinking that Waldo's should be looking for an Mbessa on 3. But then Bogdogs responds with a Jin Poppy. Now, Jin is a pretty good blind. He's pretty safe. He's pretty mobile. I would say that maybe if you're looking for some kind of safe mobile champion here, you look for maybe, I don't know, maybe like an Ezreal or maybe like a Corki or something like that. But I think Jin is fine. I love the Poppy steal though, because now you can't take Poppy on the side of Waldo's against the Ari, and you also deny basically an Abetha pick. So now they're forced to pick a Scion, which is definitely going in the top lane. I highly doubt that they're going for a Scion flex. So that means Bogdogs now has top counter, and we know how Bogdogs can play with top counter because we saw the Yorick Mundo matchup. So I'm expecting another split push top. I don't know what it's going to be this time, but you're going to have that into Scion. Maybe it's a Gwen. But then looking at just really rounding out the bands, Taric band, fantastic. It's really good into into Nautilus. I mean, if you guys saw the K5 series, you saw how the Taric went, right? So good band, Taric. And then Vi to desync the Vi Orianna Nautilus single target dive onto the Origin. So far these demands and drafts have been really good. What do you think?
No, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned potentially some flexing going on with the Scion. Potentially, right? Very very small chance. If they put Eris on another tank like Scion, that would be a huge mistake in my opinion. So I definitely agree with you that that's
Yeah.
going to be Scion top, dude. You got to put Eris on some sort of carry champion. Obviously, Mbessa probably not going to be the right choice in this one, but definitely some sort of carry. I mean, I don't care what jungler you choose, just pick one. Heck, I'm cool with a Belveth pick, man. Something that you can get out there and get 4 or 5 kills and kind of 1v9 the game with. Shoot, pull out the Master Yi, man. I don't know. We want to see it. You have 2 tanks there. It can't hurt to play Master Yi, right? But anyway, for
Yeah,
the
if
side
I'm
up,
Waldo's here, I was gonna say I'm definitely you put AD on 4 and give jungle counter because that's if you're not gonna pick jungle early and you're gonna slam a Scion and they've already shown the Jin, you pick an AD here. Any AD works. Like I think Heist is really good here. I think Corki's really good here. I think MF is really good here. So we see the MF now from a jungle perspective. It's very clear your draft is a little bit different, but it retains some things akin to game 1 and game 2, where you're looking for like very hard CC into just AoE team fight lockdown. So from a jungle perspective, like again, I think Silas is really good here. If you have some really good ultimates, I think Diana could be good. You just have to be careful of the dashes. Like Viego could be good. Oh, we see the Leona. Yeah, I love this. This is I think this is a very explosive game. It's like we have Leona Nala's bot lane already.
yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I'm too transparent. I was kind of thinking it was gonna be Poppy support in my head a little bit. I didn't want to say it out loud. I was thinking Poppy support, but with Leona locked in, I'm actually super stoked for this because if they play anything Leona anyway, like I play Leona, my number one goal as Leona is to beat the crap out of the other bot lane the entire
There's the
time.
Gwen.
So, when you said Gwen earlier, I was interested in that because I was like, look, that fits the mold, right? Super, super split pushy. But I wasn't sure if Cusco had the Gwen in the back pocket.
Yeah, I think he plays a lot of carry-oriented champions, and I think Gwen is a champion that you kind of only want to pick into things like Scion and maybe Ornn. So Gwen is a fantastic pick here to round out like Bogdog's draft. Poppy, I think, was always going to be a flex. I think we've seen them flex Poppy into the top lane. I'm not sure what the rosters was because Bogdog has like a ridiculously huge roster. So the Poppy flex was really smart. The Leona steal is really yes. I was looking for a Viego. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in just a second. So I like the Poppy Flex. It stops the Nautilus and it discourages things like Mbessa and maybe Silas, even though you could probably make that work. Gwen is obviously the answer, the typical split push answer to Scion, where you're going to be able to win lane and you're going to be able to have that split push threat. Now, the only thing Waldo's needed in this comp was something. It was some kind of carry jungle that can capitalize on the fact that his teammates have an insane amount of burst onto, I would say, a pretty squishy champ that they can lock down. Now the Poppy value is very low because you're going to have Nautilus, Scion, Orianna, MF that are going to be diving onto your Regen, and Poppy can't stop all of that. Now, if they can get one pick, then Viego can go crazy. This Viego R5 in a do and die series for a wrist is, oh man, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Jungle counter is not something I've personally seen in a draft very often. but I think it makes sense in this situation, right? Artist being kind of
Yeah.
their I, I don't want to say best player, but I got to be honest with you, he's their best player, right? At least in this series, from what we've seen so far, he's the most consistent. He's been able to, kind of even in bad moments in games 2 and 3, he was able to kind of still be that spark plug that they need. And I think giving him this Viego on in this game instead of the Shen, instead of the kind of tanky, supporty champion there, I think is such a great idea. I'm really excited to see Eris play this Viego. On the flip side, though, I got to be completely honest with you. I heard you talking about this earlier, and I haven't spoken about it yet. I am not personally a fan of Jin. I don't think it's a good champion. I think it's right alongside, and I'm a hater. So anyone listening, I'm a hater. Jin and Ezreal specifically. These are two champions that I just think the what you can get from other ADs, you can get the same thing and you can do it easier, which allows I don't care how mechanically skilled you are. It allows you to focus on other aspects and other things rather than having to be so focused on mechanic, like landing every single shot. You know what I'm saying? Specifically with Ezreal, but even with Jin some. So personally, not a huge fan of the Jin pick. I think there are better champions to kind of accomplish the same thing. But who am I to judge? These are much higher rated players than I am, and I'm sure he has some practice on this Jin. I don't know, have we seen Root Hollow play Jin this split so far? I don't know, to be honest.
So yeah, I think you bring up some good points. I think specifically just talking about the Jin. Jin does have a very high barrier of execution threshold, so you have to be able to hit those skill shots, and you have to know how much damage you can do. But on the flip side, he has a pretty safe laning phase. He can get pry for his lanes, and he is a utility based ADC. So you don't want him to you don't necessarily need him to carry, but he also can carry if he's given resources. This does kind of fit what Bogdogs is looking for, right? Like all of the ADs that Root Hall has played so far, we have Jinx, we have Ashe, we have Sivir, now we have Jin. They're fairly, they're champions that can do a lot, with either a low barrier of execution or if they can, or from like or utility. So they offer a lot of utility or they have a low barrier of execution. So if Ruha will play something like, I don't know, like Ezreal or Lucian or Tristana or Kalista or Vayne or stuff like that, then that might be kind of difficult for Root Hala to pull off. But like so far they're drafting really well around Root Hala, and basically they're trying to make Matthew, like Holgrim Man, their primary carry, and he has been a very powerful force to be reckoned with. So I'm just looking at Bogdaz's comp, and it's very simple what they're trying to do. They have Leona, Jin, Ari, Poppy as their forecore, and so they're looking for picks. They're looking to try to catch out an MF. They're looking to try to catch out an Oriana, and just one shot them before Waldo's can find a really good counter engage utilizing Nautilus, Oriana, and Misfortune to set up picks for the Viego. I think both comps are very, very good, and I think they have windows that they can find just to win whatever kinds of fights that they want. So, oh man, this game is gonna be super sick. I can't wait to get into the game. This is the last potentially the last game for Waldo's, and they broke out a Viego R5. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, man. And you're right. This could be the last game for Waldo's Weirdos here. For those who aren't tracking and are keeping it up, these guys are on. I mean, honestly, one of the most insane runs. Look, I realize we're a small tournament. Like we're just getting going. Some of you are just joining us this split and things like that. But like when you go through the losers bracket and you beat the 1 seed, the 3 seed, the 5 seed, and now you're playing against the 2 seed with the opportunity to go on into the grand finals against the 4 seed. Like as a 7 seed, you've pretty much run the gauntlet in the losers bracket. So I think they deserve at least a game 5 opportunity here to try to show their stuff. But we're going to find that out in just a moment. For now, we are going to take a short break. There's only a minute 40 seconds left in the spectator delay. So give us just a minute. We're going to get some water. We're going to stretch our legs real fast, and then we will hop into the game. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to this game 4 between Bog Dogs and Waldo's Weirdos here. On the blue side, we do have the Bog Dogs. You know them, you love them already. We've seen them. They are up 2-1 in this best of 5 series here in the lower or the losers bracket final. You do have Cusco, Demon Major, Whole Grain, Root Hala, and Marzipan. As we see a little bit of bot lane action going on here. Not anything too crazy. They're going to be able to walk out, but unfortunately gonna be that Jin is gonna be down below like half HP already before the lane even starts. That's gonna be a little rough for them. As Leona, known as kind of like an all-in engage kind of champ, there you wanna kind of push for that level 2, level 3, get all your stuns and all your abilities available. Again, for the side of Waldo's, though, we have Kosi, we have Eris, we have Miko, we have Monkey, we have Duckling. You can see on the sides of my screen there what champions they are playing. Chaos, tell me, man, what matchup right now are you most interested in this game 4? What do you think is going to be the most important kind of piece, kind of success for either side?
Oh man, it's hard to pick one. I think they're all super important. I mean, Whole Grain Man has always been a very important win con for the side of Bog Dogs. So this Ari Oriana matchup and seeing how if and how Ari can get ahead is going to be important. We know that Cusco is incredibly has a lot of pressure in this top lane split push style. So especially if Gwen can win with this counter pick, it's gonna be really difficult. Waldos needs to have a strategy for the split push. But then the jungle matchup is crazy because like now we have a carry jungle, like a proper carry, not a Bruce jungle, a proper carry jungle. And I don't know if I've seen Arist on Viego before. I do like Viego in this draft, so that's interesting. But then we also have a bot 2v2. Oh wait, there's a whole 3 camp top.
Yep, Viego getting in an a little early kill for Viego. That is the last thing you want on the side of Bog Dogs. You do not want that getting early, as they also get another kill in the bot lane. Unfortunately for Bog Dogs, Leona does pick up that kill into the Nautilus. So 2-for-1 trade there. And honestly, I gotta be transparent. Like, that is what you do not want for Bog Dogs. Giving kills over to Viego. You were just literally in the middle of talking about the carry Viego as he makes a great timing on the top lane there. A little, what is that? First clear kind of early gank there at 2 minutes and some change. Like, he's gonna miss, his timing for these scuttle crabs, but he got a kill in exchange, and that's honestly what you want on Viego.
Yeah, his pathing was interesting because he went from red to I think Raptors and then Krugs and then went for a top game. So he was always planning on doing a top 3 camp. So really good to get the kill off of that. But then we also saw the bot dive means that Jin is like...
Oh, and Nautilus with the flash is able to land the hook onto Leona. Great hook there by Nautilus. Oh my goodness, that was actually awesome by King Duckling. I don't know if you were able to see that, but that was really cool. Really good timing, really good execution there as Poppy is able to engage on the Oriana. Unfortunately for Ari, Ari is so low. Viego's here. Good flash by Ari to get out of there. Does not want to be in this team fight when Viego is here, not wanting to give up another kill. Unfortunately, Poppy going down really low as well. Viego going to push for it here a little bit. Not able to get the kill. Great kind of opportunity to escape there. Viego would have loved to have picked up at least one of those two low Poppy or Ari there, but not going to get it. Just going to have to go back and finish clearing there.
Yeah, both junglers kind of looking for plays before they finish their full clears. The bot lane of Waldo is already super ahead. I think the dive was fantastic. MF ended up getting the kill with Leona getting the trade kill, so Jin is super far behind. But again, we talked about how Jin he can be played as a utility-based ADC, so he's not too far, not bad, but being down 2 levels and 20 CS is going to be really, really tough. So Yeah, Jin is definitely going to have a really tough time this game. I think the mid lane matchup is fairly even, but we did say they already ended up burning Flash. So if I'm Viego, I'm trying to look for something before this next dragon to pressure that advantage. And the top lane, don't think anything is going to happen diving Scion over here. So it seems like the eggs are, again, they're going to try to be in the mid-top basket. And then hopefully we can just come out even. King definitely making his name known on this Nautilus here. Back to being on engaged supports, back to being on playmakers. It's a good job so far by Waldos.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do see, like you mentioned, that it's almost up to, it was 25 CS gap now in the ADC role there, but Gwen, kind of making up for it on the top side a little bit, already being up a good double-digit CS lead there, and that's honestly what you want for them too, right? You want that Gwen kind of getting ahead. Now, she did die once already early, like from that early Viego gank, as we see Viego on his way up here into the lane, and Gwen again overstepping here. Viego here, that is most likely going to be another death. A flash there by Gwen, able to kind of dodge the Scion
wait,
Q
Gwen
there,
hit
but
6.
not only that. Oh, Gwen did hit level 6. That is great timing for the Gwen.
Oh, that
Unfortunately, not going to
flash.
be able to get to the Viego. And oh my goodness, what a
Oh
lot
my
of damage!
god, that's so
Almost picks up the double kill, but not able to. Really, really great job by the Gwen. Honestly, they're almost pulling out that double kill. Unfortunately, despite all the mechanics that we did just see, is taken down by the Viego, by the Scion. Scion did pick up that kill, so I mean, that's unfortunately, you don't want to give any gold to the Viego, either the assist or not. But it's kind of lucky to get that kill there.
Yeah, it's so lucky that Viego didn't die there. I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know how close Gwen is to 6, but she was really close off of 1 minion, and she almost was able to turn. I think if she gets the kill to Viego, she might get the Triumph proc, and then she would end up killing you. And that would be disastrous for Waldos, but they were just able to. That was a really good flash by her to dodge it. I think if the Gwen was able to hold the last R3, she would have got a double kill there. Really small, but it's still, I don't think it changes the lane that much. Gwen is still going to have a ton of pressure onto the Scion, and Gwen is always going to be this kind of win con for Bog Dogs. So, but a little bit of go back onto Waldo's looking to start this next Drake. They do have bot prio, so it should be an uncontested Drake, but it looks the positioning of Bog Dogs here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna end up clearing out.
I don't think Bog Dogs want to contest for that. My comment here for the Gwen and for Cusco in general, like I think he's gonna look back on these last couple of games later, and he's gonna look at himself and just say, "Dude, why did I not ward this tri-bush? Like, what is going on in my brain?" Like he finally put it there, but like I'm saying, every time he's died in the last 2 games, like brother, if you would have just put a ward out on the tri-bush, you'd been fine, man. You'd been fine.
Yeah, Ritz is doing a really good job of actually making these weak side ganks very, very successful. I mean, I think last one's a little bit sus, but definitely getting a lot of pressure done top. And then it is kind of interesting that Viego isn't really trying to gank bot more when MF and MF and Nautilus are so strong. They can just set up dives. They're up 30 CS, and you just like chain ult. If I was Viego, I'd probably pathing bot, but this pathing top is kind of working so far. It's getting a little bit close.
The part that's most concerning for me right now for this game, like when you think about it, is Poppy. So Viego did 3 camps, ganked the top wave, recalled, went bot lane, cleared bot lane, got a scuttle crab, ganked mid wave, went back, did all of this play, went top lane again, did all of this extra stuff. We haven't really seen Poppy on the map that much, and Viego is up 2 camps right now, or 3 camps even.
Yeah, Riz is definitely making his pressure known here. Viego's farming very well and ganking very effectively, and Poppy isn't really able to get too much off. I think the gank setup is just really difficult in this. Like how the only way that you can actually gank an Orianna is through Ari Charm, but you're gonna have to do that through the wave. So get Poppy, I think, is going to be more of a team fight insurance rather than a early game snowball oriented champion in this composition. So we'll have to see how the team fights actually play out, but we do see that there might be a team fight coming up on the scrubs, or at least King topside maybe again.
Yeah, as Viego's just sitting here waiting again. Here we go. Gwen, oh, good little dash there. Unfortunately, the Scion ult does come out. The Q comes out. Gwen going to be blocked up. And that is going to be a dead Gwen. Eris with another kill there, 2-on-1. They do give off the grubs, but I got to be honest with you. Like, grubs are cool, especially when you have a Gwen. The grubs are really, really useful. That side wave pressure that she puts off in combination is good there, but if I'm Waldo's, I could not care less because I just got another kill onto my Viego. My kind of hard carry player on my team is already cooking on a really dangerous champion. They're great flash by the Jhin to dodge the MF ult, but The directed camera flashing us back and forth between mid and bot lane, couldn't figure out what it wanted to do there. As we see, Ari and Leona make a little bit of a cheeky kind of invade there, not getting the blue that I guess Leona wanted. Nautilus though here, great hook onto the Ari. Ari able to flash and dash away there, so pretty good job there. But Leona gonna die in the process. Another kill, going over to that Viego, 3-0-1 now, and I gotta be honest with you. I know it's early. It's only 9.5 minutes in. It's only a 3.5K gold lead, but a Viego at 3-0-1. I got to be honest with you. I would be terrified if I was Bog Dogs right now.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Bog Dogs right now. And I was gonna say, like, if they're able to stave off the early game, then they're. Oh, okay, what a trip. But he has the shutdown too. Honestly, pretty good. So a couple things to talk about. So first is I think this all started with Jin, I think, taking a 1v1 onto the MF fighting.
Yep, as we see a little engage here onto the Viego, that would be a good kill for them if they could get it, but Viego just kind of just barely staying alive. Great job for Poppy. Good shutdown going over to Poppy. A little bit of also a trade there in the top lane. I don't know if we missed that or if we saw it or what, but Sion and Gwen both dead at the moment. So good job by Bog Dogs picking up the kill onto the Viego. A little bit of shutdown gold going over to Poppy is always nice. Eris, though, getting a little overzealous. There. As Poppy and Leona do engage on the Nautilus. Nautilus down really low. Poppy doing a ton of damage. Where is this damage coming from?
Hey, man, Poppy does way more damage than you think for a tank.
Yeah, like, what? Where did it's just 2 kills in a row. Just, like, the Viego and then the Nautilus just blasting him with the hammer, bro.
Yeah, he is. Poppy looks like he's also going for. Yeah. Then he just finished Black Cleaver. So I mean, a couple things.
Leona with a flash and the E does catch the Orianna. Charm also on. Good little chain CC. Orianna with the ulti though, able to pull both of them in. A lot of damage coming out. Most likely gonna die there. Great play by Leona there. Marzipans. Yeah, excellent flashy.
I just wish that these guys would stop fighting and let me talk for 2 seconds. So okay, I'll try rapid fire. First off, Jin took a bot fight into a 1v1 into MF when he was down 30 CS and down an item, which led into their bot lane getting tempo into a mid-top side or a bot side invade. That they then turned into a jungle invade, but it was unfortunate that the Nautilus was looking to reset at the same time that the Viego was looking to invade, so there was a little bit desynced and they give up a shutdown. At the same time that Gwen is getting a shutdown top in the 1v1. So overall, Bog Dogs getting a lot of good plays back to back, getting a lot more pressure on the map. They might be able to contest this Drake, but we do see still a massive chasm between these 80 carries. So far, Bog Dogs coming back, Bog Dogs still super ahead though.
Yeah, I see absolutely no reason to contest this Drake, I'm going to be honest with you. It looks like they're kind of starting to make their way down here to do that, but I just think you got to let this one go. Sion also making way, and all Sion has to do is ulti, right? And it'd be here in a flash. Just let this one go. Back off. Go back to your waves. Gwen is pushing that top lane in now, getting some free plates, getting some free gold there, able to proxy that wave just a little bit. So, I mean, it worked out a little bit, but at the same time, I'm glad they just kind of let that go because that would have been disastrous for Bog Dogs, I think.
But you can see, I mean, how much pressure this Gwen has, right? 1 in 4.
Oh my goodness, so much damage coming off of the Viego. Hold on a second. Does get the kill on the Viego. What a kill by Fusco. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe what we just saw. How much HP did he have? And he's still alive over here as Sion looking to hunt this Gwen down. Does finally die to the turret. I don't know what we just saw. As we do get another engage here in the bot lane, dude, I can't stop to think. Can't even stop to talk about the last fight. Nautilus down below half HP. Poppy doing a great job now after that level. Kind of got level 6, and now all of a sudden we talked about not being on the map, but now Poppy seems to be everywhere.
I just don't understand why Arista is spending so much time topside. All the plays so far have been I guess not all of the plays, but I feel even if you go top, there are some times that you could have just died to the Gwen, and then there was other times where even if you get the kill, what is that gonna do? Well, just dive their bot lane on repeat. You have an MF Nautilus into a Jhin that doesn't even have one item at 13 minutes. That is, and you want to play dragons. I don't think that Aris should be trying to win both sides of the map at once. Just let your Sion gracefully lose and then push bot. But as it stands, Gwen, massive outplay. You can see even at 1 and 4, she's able to take pressure and win a 1v2. This is Cusco's strategy. It's you're gonna pull the jungle top, and then you're going to just be a very strong raid boss regardless.
Oh, here we go again. Viego. Yeah, Viego inside of the bush here again. Nautilus inside of the bush. Gwen. Oh no, Gwen, you are walking into death here, my friend. Nah, good luck. Immediately running under the turret, trying to escape here. You, my friend, are gonna die. And the hook comes in and all this. Oh my goodness, what a great hook there, Gwen. Unfortunately, gonna die here, Poppy. You're not gonna be able to save him, my friend. Leona, you're not gonna be able to save him. Just an unfortunate step. Oh my goodness, and of course, right away the reverse step in Diego. What are you doing? This is just. You mentioned it a minute ago, just action after action. They're just, return killing each other. And Diego, of course, wanted to get a little bit of extra there. Eris, though, overstepping into a three-man just kind of explosion, unfortunately, there.
I do not like the strategy from Waldo's at all. Like, you constantly go top. I think maybe it's because they're burned by Cusco's constant split pushing. But I don't think the solution is to try to answer that. I think the solution is try to get even more on the other side, because there's no way that if Aris ganks bot, that the bot lane plays are going to go poorly, because your bot lane is so ahead, and then you could just take more plates off of that, because Sion should at least be able to just one-shot the waves. You're just adding a lot of risk to try to win a top side when your bot side's already winning. So I think Bogda is actually playing really well to utilize the pressure that Cusco is taking. So we'll have to see what they can do. They are down 2 dragons and they are down 2k, but
I see a little dive.
Like the game's...
A little dive brewing here in the bot lane.
Yeah.
I know the directed cam isn't showing us, but Nautilus and Diego, they got a ton of wards out on that side, and Jin is alone under this turret. And that is a dead Jin. I don't even have to shoutcast this. He is dead. There was nothing to say there, brother. You were in for it right there, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, look at how easy that was.
Oh, and Poppy and Gwen doing the same thing on the other side of the map. Poppy taking a lot of damage. The turret does go down. Great job, Sion. Getting really low below half. Orianna TP's in. Oh, no. Orianna TP's in, and the ulti does explode the Poppy, unfortunately. Gwen, you are pretty low now. Leona is here. There are 2 of you. Nautilus also here now. Ari also here, so it's a 3-on-3. Oh, good flash there by the Orianna to get out of there. Unfortunately,
nice
that is a lot of damage coming out real quickly on the Orianna. Dead immediately. 3v2 now. Sion going to go down. Oh, nope, going to be able to flash out. Nautilus going to do a great ulti by the MF. Unfortunately, Gwen inside of that little bubble, they're not going to take any damage from that. Oh, Kosi able to survive. Dude, just staying alive forever. Diego does flash in to get Leona. That is probably going to be a dead Leona. I don't think she's going to be able to kind of shimmy her way out of this one. This Diego, very, very strong. I don't know, Chaos. Tell me what I just talked about that, but tell me what I just saw, because I don't even know.
So it all started with a bot dive. I mean, see how easy it was, right? You literally have to expend no ultimate. You got a free kill and you got a bot turret, and they have a tempo reset for a top play. So Bog Dogs wants to make a cross map play, but this Sion is so tanky at this point. Maybe I'll give Waldo some credit that getting the Sion to the point that he can be this tank raid boss came to fruition in that top fight, where the entirety of Bogdas was trying to go for the Sion kill at the very end, especially Matthew, and then he just died for it. So really good counter engage by Waldo's there, and then now they can utilize that for more neutral tricks. Poppy's caught out here.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is. Oh, great. Okay, wait a second. Great flash. Yeah, that was. I don't know if he had to have been spamming that F key, or let's see. Poppy is, what is Poppy, a D flasher or an F? Yeah, an F flasher. Good man. Good man. Okay, here we go. This is a soul point right here. Inferno is low. A little flash in there by Ari. Unfortunately, not able to claim it as they do get it engaged. And Leona in the middle of the team. Great ulti. Nobody here really to follow up on the damage. Gwen now here, though. Viego really low. Viego dead, and MF dead, and all that leaves is Orianna here. That's 3 kills, so they do get the dragon. Unfortunately, 3 dead.
Good play by Black Dogs. I wish I would have seen the Puppy ult come out a little bit sooner, because then you can maybe just eat the Viego out and then steal the drag. Looks like they're going to play for the mid T1. They're going to get it, but I don't think more is going to happen, really, on this side of Nautilus. So, yeah, a really good play by Buckeyes. Like, they ended up losing the dragon, which does put Waldo's at soul point. However, it never has felt to me that even with a gold lead deficit, even with a kill deficit, that Bogdogs is out of this game. Like, I know that Jin is, I would say, kind of out of the game, but he does offer a lot of utility, which was I was saying in draft. So they still have an incredible win con. I mean, Ari's really strong. Gwen is still very, very strong. So as long as they can utilize all of these strengths in this next dragon fight, I think that if they win that dragon fight, I think it's going to be enough for Bogdogs to slowly just kind of win the game here. Really good fight by Bogdogs.
You know, I think looking at this game right now, there's something you mentioned early on in this when this game started, and even in the draft, you mentioned that kind of the focus for Bogdogs, right, is on their top and mid, right? Like You even said that Jhin is like a utility champ, so they're not really like trying to put a lot of focus in there. It's more about just kind of surviving. And even though they had a really, really rough start and they are down 40 CS, like he kind of stopped the bleeding. They're only 0-3, and I know like 0-3 is not like it doesn't feel good, but at the same time, like it's not the end of the world. And if you look at Gwen and you look at Ari, they are just so far ahead. Like look at him just demolishing this Viego. Like there's no Gwen. Even though she has 7 deaths, she's 6 kills, she's up 20 CS. Like Ari is up 40 CS, so that lead that MF has kind of moved there because Ari kind of turned it around. And I don't know, man. Bog Dogs, despite being down 3 kills, they've evened up this gold, and they're down 3 drags, but I think they look good to maybe try to claim the next drag.
Yeah, that was definitely their win con. Is you see Demon Major look for. Oh, this is gonna be a fight. No, so Demon Major was pathing top all 3 games.
Ulti by and Viego is slow just enough. They're able to get the engagement on there. Jhin ulti comes down. Does not Nautilus, good job taking those shots. Unfortunately, Viego gonna die quickly there. Ari, you're kind of in a bad position though, able to fall as well. So a little bit of a trade there. Leona, you jumped into your death there, my friend. Luckily, Leona able to at least help with the rest of the team get away. They didn't have the Gwen there, and I think even obviously like the typical fighting here is the Gwen kind of split pushing. But if they want to win those kind of team fights, they're going to need the Gwen because that is a tanky.
Oh, the stop. Okay, I don't think anything's going to happen here. Yeah, they're utilizing the split push again. They're just utilizing the split push of Cusco very, very well. Even if that mid play doesn't go well, Cusco's just going to take the entire top turret. And if Sion wasn't there, I don't know how much Sion actually was able to impact that fight. But the punishing the fact that Viego doesn't have flash, getting a really good engage. Poppy cut off here though. Oh, never mind.
Great blasting cone choice there. He got out quick. He was like, all right, I gotta go. Never mind.
Little Yordles, they're just little pesky little harassing. Just take your buff and run away.
Exactly. Bye, guys. Oh man, we see a little bit of a slowdown here now. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah, again, they're just gonna play off of the Gwen split push. However, interesting to note if the Gwen doesn't reset here, the Gwen is gonna be same side of the objective as the next Drake. So they're not looking to have Gwen TP in. They really need to play this Drake. Bogdogs really needs to win this Drake. So whoever gets the objective set up is going to be the team that I think is going to win this next objective. Ari's top side, but doesn't have TP.
I really think I honestly think that Waldo's may just try to trade this dragon for the Baron.
They could do that. And I think that might be a better decision because I don't know if Waldo's can win a fight 5v5 into the Gwen. It's possible, but the risk of them losing a fight is the soul and possibly the game and possibly the Waldo split in TLA. So when you have that level of pressure, how is Waldo's able to execute? But knowing Waldo's, they're probably going to take the fight anyways. They're going to be like, okay, let's just go for a wombo comp and just try to kill somebody and get Viego with some resets. You see the classic 4-man down mid, getting mid prio.
Oh,
their bread and butter.
There we
go.
go.
You can find an engage off of this.
That shot from MF did quite a chunk there to Gwen. Just one little blast there. They are kind of on the run there, Waldo's. Yeah, I don't know about that ulti.
Is it Gwen ult for this fight?
Sion is here now. Yeah, you don't have the Gwen ulti. I don't know what you're gonna do in this one. Gwen though, trying to get on a little bit of a flank here. Oh, they do have the surround. The Jhin ulti comes out. Ari over the top. Huge damage on MF, but does not get the kill. Unfortunately, Poppy able to jump in, does get the finally get the kill. Viego going down as well. Great surround there by the Bogdogs. I was a little concerned because Gwen didn't have the ulti, but they just surrounded them. And unfortunately for Waldo's, that's 4 members down. Huge play by the Bogdogs to take that team fight, take this dragon, and honestly, take really strong control of this game right now.
Yeah, dude, this Poppy champion is ridiculous. The
fact that
you can yeet half the enemy team, and even if you just eat one person, that's still basically a Mordekaiser ultimate, but you are still part of the team fight, and you have CC, and you have anti-dash, and you have damage. So Poppy is just such a crazy champion. And the fact that he was able to just get out of the initial engage, push the Scion away, and then now they have an instant numbers advantage to win the rest of the fight. They take the
Here
dragon.
comes the entire team
and now
on
they're
Gwen,
gonna take the
though.
Baron,
He does get
and
the kill on
just
the
gonna kill the
Scion.
Scion and take the turret. No,
oh my god, they're getting Baron too. Oh my goodness, Bog Dogs, Waldos. This might be it for you guys. There,
Yeah.
I don't know what are they. I'm not even sure what they can do now. Like the Viego is kind of, it started off so strong, but here in this kind of last 10 minutes or so, it hasn't been able to really be effective. It's just kind of dying on repeat in these team fights.
I mean, you can see what if you're a Viego and you passed into a Scion Gwen lane, I think you're making a mistake. I think the first kill was great, but after that, it becomes really difficult because Gwen is always going to have pressure in lane, and Scion is not your win con, and your bot lane is so ahead. I think you just need to just accept that top lane is going to lose, but then get your bot lane even more ahead, because at least Scion can clear waves and not allow Gwen to do as much pressure. So, yeah, Viego got ahead, not able to translate. It might still be possible. They could maybe still like win a fight, right? Their team fight is still pretty good, but I don't know how. That's all they have to do is try to win a 5v4. Accept that Gwen's going to take your sides, but now you see they're actually 1-3-1ing on the side of Bog Dogs, so they're going to take both sides, but they just have to fight. They just have to fight.
Yeah. Here we go. The engage coming in from Waldo's. Jindo in a really bad position, able to flash over the Waldo and kind of get out of there. So really good job. And honestly, this is so bad for Waldo's because Gwen and Ari are just pushing in these sideways. And 2 members going up there to kind of take down the Gwen. I honestly don't think that's going to be enough. Gwen just blowing this turret up. And now it's a 1v2 between you and the Gwen. And that is a position you don't want to be in. Unfortunately, Gwen, now you are oh my god, doing so much damage. You are going to get taken down, but you are going to be able to get the turret in the process. Going to lose the turret in the bot wave and the inhib in the bot wave. Bog Dog's just doing such a great job right here. Ooh. The macro is looking great. Oh no! Whole grain man, great job there to be able to kind of pick up the kill on the Viego. You do lose 3 members, but look at the base for Waldo's, man.
That is 3 shutdowns going over to MF. The shutdowns themselves are like 1.5k gold. The kills are probably another 900 gold. So MF's just got about 2k gold, just straight up on an IE. Just straight up on an IE. So like this, it's unfortunate that Viego wasn't able to get the kill before they were able to get everybody, because then Viego could have just like gotten on with resets. This MF is monstrous, and that's actually a huge throw by Bog Dogs. If they just played it a little bit slower, then they could have just taken the inhib and all of reset and then played the next dragon. But now, as it stands, they do have an inhib, which is really good. But now you have an insanely strong MF who will probably one-shot your team if you give her maybe 3 waves of her ultimate. So Bog Dogs has to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. I think Poppy would need to ult out this MF, and then they would take the numbers advantage fight. I think that's how they need to win. But oh man, this is so close. This is so close, and it's anyone's game still, I think.
Oh no, I definitely think it's still anyone's game. 7-2 and 4 on that MF. Yeah, especially I think Bog Dogs is probably looking to play more in the lanes here. We like it's, for example, we just saw kind of pushing down these waves and not play in these jungles as the MF does disconnect. This is always unfortunate right here. Especially the momentum. We talked about it a little bit about the games, but what about in-game momentum, right? Monkey just picked up a triple kill there, essentially, and now unfortunately disconnecting here. So hopefully able to get reconnected here.
He probably got more than a triple kill, because each kill was worth 2+ kills, and I think one of them was about 600 gold. So those 3 kills is equivalent to like 8 kills. He got like 8 kills in that one fight. So he just builds a straight IE, and then he literally just like, it's so easy to play this. You just have Nautilus point blank ult the Ari or the Jhin, and then it's gonna force the rest of Bog Dogs to try to stop them. But if they try to stop them, they're gonna be running right into an MF, because I guess Leona has to ult the MF, and then or Poppy has to ult the MF. Something needs to be done before this MF can basically one-shot your whole team with the one ultimate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was mentioning, like fighting in the jungle right now. Like that's exactly one thing. I think Bog Dogs is gonna want to spend their time just kind of pushing the waves at the moment. Maybe not step into that jungle, because one wrong move you get hooked by a Nautilus, and two or three of your members get hit by his ulti or an Orianna ulti, and all of a sudden you're all exploded because MF presses R.
Yeah. So this next fight is probably if Bogdogs wins this next fight, they win the game. If Waldo's wins this next fight, they will probably win the game. But there's still, I think Waldo's is still maybe like 2 or maybe 3 fights away from winning. Bogdogs is technically 1 fight. So if they're able to just again yeet the MF out and then play that 4v5 or 5v4, then they'll be able to win.
Well,
That's all I'm looking for is how is MF able to play this fight and what are they doing to this MF?
Well, I think the biggest problem for excuse me. I think the biggest problem for Waldo's right now is that they only have 1 turret, right? So let's say right now, Bogdogs pushes up right now on this mid turret, right, and they go for this 4v, what is it, like a 4v4 right here is what it would be with Sion and Gwen on the top side. Even if they walk up and they lose that fight, like how far is Waldo's really going to be able to get? They may get to tier 1 and maybe to tier 2, but like it's not super far down, and they still have to worry about the super minions in the bot wave. They still have to worry about Gwen 1v1ing the Sion, because even though the Sion is pretty tanky, like he's not surviving a 1v1 against a Gwen. So like I still think there's some concern for Waldo's here. It's going to take some good macro play, like some good focus on like their rotations. And I think so far in this series and so far in this split, Bogdogs have been shown to be one of the kind of premier macro-oriented teams. So I kind of have faith in Bogdogs to do the right thing here and focus on maybe waiting for this next dragon, making sure they get that dragon, and honestly not doing anything for the next 3 minutes until Baron is up if possible, and then claiming that Baron and trying to use it for that last push down mid wave potentially to win the game.
Yeah, I think that's one. Actually, you bring up a really good point. So they could just choose to not fight, and then they can choose to just play the split push and then try to get the top inhib. The problem with that is the dragon is up in 1 minute, and it is Infernal Soul for the side of Waldo. So Waldo's can't afford to just play the split push game to win, because if you're giving up an Infernal Soul to a 4 item plus IEMF, I struggle to see how you would win any fight from that point on. Like I don't think the situation is going to get better in terms of team fighting, and at some point what's going to happen is no matter how Bogdogs is able to slow down and get ahead, they're going to have to invade the enemy nexus, and that means you're going to be facing down a 5v5 at their nexus turret. So at some point you're going to have to deal with this MF. How you choose to deal with the MF, when you choose to deal with this MF, that's going to be the big trigger. I mean, this game is I think just MF. You could maybe slow the game down. Maybe you can, have Gwen kill Sion. Maybe have Gwen go for that top inhib. But you're gonna have to have some kind of answer. Maybe some kind of flank, enough CC, but it's still anyone's game. I can't wait to watch this next fight.
Yep. So it looks like Monkey, the ADC for Waldo's, is having a little bit of a issue connecting to the game. So we're gonna take a quick moment. I'm gonna go ahead. I switched screens here. We're gonna give them a minute to figure out what's going on. Chaos and I are gonna take a quick break. We will be right back. Just a moment. All right, I'm gonna. All right, guys. I apologize. We are back. I'm so sorry for the delay. Unfortunately, luckily, Monkey it was able to return to the game. And here we go. We are sitting in with what? Bog Dogs up 2-1 in the series. Currently up 3K gold. Don't panic. By the way, real quick, if you're seeing another pause here, this is not the game crashing. This is not the stream crashing. You are not crashing. It is simply Riot deciding that they need a second pause after the normal pause every time that happens. Gotta love them for that. Again, guys, Bogdad's still 2-1 in the series. They are currently up a little over 2,500 gold right now. And basically, there's a dragon coming up in 30 seconds, and there's no way to predict which side is going to win this, right? MF just pulled off a triple kill. Is now sitting at, or maybe a quad, got 4 kills in the span of a short time there. And we're going to see what happened here. Super minions going down. Orianna going to kind of cut this Ahri off. A little 1v1 action, maybe? Nope. Ahri going to go ahead and just kind of book it away from there as Gwen and Sion just do get out of this top wave. Gwen looking to get... Oh, Sion does ulti away. That is going to be a dead inhib. Great job by the Gwen doing exactly what she is supposed to do.
Oh, this is insane macro. So they were looking to threaten an end with Ahri on the bot lane. Orianna answered, and then Waldo thought that they could pick up the Ahri, but then Ahri was just able to just triple dash away while the Gwen was taking the top inhib, and then she's able to get away. So the entire macro sequence thrown out the water because now Waldo's doesn't have the proper setup for the Drake. So then using all that chaos and confusion, Bogos is able to steal away the Infernal Soul attempt by Waldo's. So they have a couple more minutes. If Bogos is able to get this next Baron, that could be the way that Bogos can win the game by using a 1-3-1 macro similar to how they got the previous inhibs. Oh man, this is insane.
Yeah,
Really
the thing is right. Even right now, Gwen is pushing down that bot wave, and if she really wants, I don't think anyone can stop her. Like, she can go wherever she wants right now on this map, and I honestly don't think there's anyone on the side of Waldo's that can do that. And these little cheeky bush plays that they're trying to do, this is not going to work against the Bog Dogs. I don't think they're not the type of team to fall for this kind of thing. They're going to have to figure out some other path to make this happen. They're pinging Gwen right now. Gwen kind of alone. There is MF, not us, and VO coming. Gwen, you need to get out of there, my friend. That Scion not too far away from you. I better hope you can dash. Oh, no, unfortunately, hit by the Scion. Oh,
wow.
Gonna get queued as well. Knocked up. That is 4 people on top of Gwen. Unfortunately, you are not going to survive this one. Eris, let's be the kill. Poppy pushing down the mid wave onto the Orianna. Yeah, a little bit of a misposition there by Gwen. That's 50-second dead there. That is an opportunity, at least, for the side of Waldos to maybe go and try to make a play on this Baron, potentially. That is up in, well, right now.
That is really tough that Cusco died at that timer. I think if he died maybe like 30 seconds later, then Bogdogs could have traded the Baron, but he died early enough that now the entirety of Waldos has Baron threat. This is really bad for Bogdogs. I think this should be Waldos' Baron.
TP in by San. Here we go. There's 5 here for the side of Waldos. I don't know if Bogdogs really wants to try this. Maybe they should just give this one up. Poppy immediately exploded. Cannot do anything. Oh my, that is just a ton of damage by that MF ult. I wonder how much he did right there. Just immediately exploded Poppy. Unfortunately, that is Baron over to the side of Waldos. I mean, good play by Waldos. Oh wait, Jindo with the ulti doing a ton of damage. Good flash in there to kind of protect Orianna. Good job there. They are getting really low. Oh my goodness, great job by Jin there. Oh my god, a double kill by the Jin, pulling off something huge for them. Yeah, they does die there, but is able to trade 2 kills. So that's two less Barons. Gwen pushing, though, in the inside of the base. Wait a second. Is that a base base? Why? Direct the camera, help me. Oh my god, the enemy it's over. And Gwen, I didn't even notice. Did you? I didn't even notice.
I saw it after the Baron play. Oh, that's so insane. Dude, I literally got up out of my seat after I saw that.
That is insane. I was so focused on the Baron play, I didn't even see the Gwen all the way up there.
Yeah, so what I saw was like, okay, MF flashed to try to protect the Orianna from the Jin 4th shot. So I thought that Bogdogs was looking to try to engage, to try to kill the MF, and to try to stop their bases in because they're stuck in the Baron pit. But the real reason why was because the Gwen was splitting and they wanted to stop their resets, not to like be annoying or like not to like kill them, but just to stop their resets. So the Gwen could just take the double nexus with the Baron. We also like did no, because they didn't get stolen, right? I would have to double check. Oh man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I just want to say
I'm shocked right now.
I know, dude. I cannot believe that Gwen just won the game for them. Like that was incredible. Like I just want to point out right here. I'm looking at it. I don't know if you looked at it, but this Gwen 30.6 thousand damage in that game, double the damage of anyone else in the game. Absolutely insane performance by Cusco, who is still in this in our league and our split undefeated. Right, like has not lost a series yet. Every series that the Bog Dogs have used this man and they have won. And dude, that honestly, man, that's just insane, dude. I can't believe, I, like the directed camera trolled me a little bit in this. I mean, to be honest with you, like it didn't give me. I don't know. I guess the fighting in the Baron pit was so much. I think in the future, man, I'm gonna have to control the camera some more because I cannot believe I just missed that win right there. That was insane, dude. I was
Yeah.
so focused on the Baron.
As soon as the Baron dropped, I looked at that mini map and I'm just like, or as soon as like the fight happened, they started channeling their reset. I was like, what's go? Like, I was, oh my god, that's when I saw the Gwen. Yeah, that was so. There's a lot to break down over the course of the whole game. I think it's just fundamentally the absolute takeaway from this series is that Bog Dogs has a very standard way of playing around Cusco. Maybe if they have a different roster with their 10-man roster, they would play differently with different players. But with Cusco, it's very, very simple. They're just going to play a split push oriented style. So if they have a split oriented style and they draft a four core that's really good at controlling space and team fighting, then this split pusher is if Wallace wasn't able to handle it. I think they had a strategy going into the last game, which was let me try to shut down the Gwen. But the problem is that even if you shut down the Gwen any early, you're just kind of delaying the inevitable. You're basically you're not playing to win, you're playing to not lose. I think if they just put more eggs into the monkey basket in game 4, they could have won that game. It's really unfortunate that they lost, but it was just a fantastic. That was a great series. I like that it was super back and forth. In the last game, I think even in game 3, it was like super back and forth. So really, really well played to both teams, and congratulations to Bog Dogs for now winning the lower bracket finals, meaning that Waldo's is now. That was the last game of their TLA split, and welcome Bog Dogs to the grand finals against my team K5s. It's gonna be a great series, but we have beat them before, so
All right,
maybe
so
it'll be the same, but maybe different.
wait, keep that same attitude because if you're cool with it, I wanna drag us over to the Bog Dogs channel real quick and just have a quick chat with them. Let me see if I
Sure,
can
yeah.
move you. Here we go. I'm gonna move you right now. And I'm gonna move with them. Hello, how's it going,
Hello.
you guys? Who's left? Looks
I
like
don't
everybody
know.
left already except for two.
Oh yeah, we didn't think that there was. So
That's okay. That's okay. Look, look. The bot lane is here, right? Marzipan and I'm in streamer mode, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm assuming that's Root Hollow, but I can't be for
yeah,
sure.
it's really.
Yep.
Okay, all right, all right. What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? Tell me that first off, 3-1, no game 5. I'll be honest. Even though you guys won, I know that's super awesome. It's a little unfortunate that we don't get a game 5, but tell me how much relief is it that you guys were able to close out that game 4?
Feels
It's
good.
really
I think.
good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if we would have had to play another one, just like the amount of league that we would have to play would just be so much that we would have just fucking exhausted. So it's good to like finish it there, especially in a game that we were in like such a winning position for most of the game. So yeah, feels good.
I think having like the 15-minute meditation break was really helpful.
We did talk a lot about the NBA
Yeah,
game going on right now.
I'm sure Waldo's was like heavy sweating in that 15-minute break if Monkey was gonna come back. Well, you guys were just talking about NBA. Yeah, we're just gonna do the same thing that we need to do. Yeah, overall, just like really, really solid games. I don't want to go through all of the games, but I do want to talk about like game 1. Like, walk me through like what you guys are thinking game 1, because I think you guys completely pivoted your draft strategy, your mental. Like, What do you think about game one, and how did you bounce back from it from the rest of the series? You basically kind of reverse swept them, but you just didn't give Waldo's a second win. So what are we thinking?
Bog dogs are kind of notorious for being slow starters. Most of our team did not get any warm up games, and so we were coming in pretty cold. So I think it's pretty par for the course for us to lose game one. I don't think we were really sweating after game one. Like we knew that we had like our game plan. I think the Waldo's is like really good in the early levels, like at pressuring you through their jungle and support moving around. But I think once the mid and late game come around, their macro kind of lacks a little bit. So I think we knew that we had that advantage. So if we first game we just kind of trolled by letting King Duckling and Arist just kind of run the map and get too much of a lead that we couldn't come back after that. So I think we just knew that we had to kind of track them better, not let them get too big of a lead. And if we went into the mid game with even gold, I think that we win every single time.
All right, real quick, because that's I just saw him jump back in here, and I know Chaos talked a lot about it in the cast just now. Demon Major, man, that Poppy, bro. Oh my goodness, man, that Poppy dude.
Thank you.
Holy crap, bro! Where have you played Poppy this season yet?
I think I got a few games throughout the season, but I'm not sure how many times I got her in the playoffs. But she's a super comfort pick. We love the Poppy. Get some crazy ults out, you can just totally change the fight.
Yeah, I was talking to Monster on Cast that Poppy is just a better Mordekaiser in that you basically can do what Mordekaiser does, and you just yeet at least one player, but Poppy can yeet multiple players. Then and you're still part of the rest of the fight, and you have a CC, and you have anti dash, and you have damage. And I think you played Poppy really well. I think there's a couple fights where I remember one specifically where they were looking for an engage on you and you flashed away, then you yeeted the Scion, then you guys won the 5v4 on the Drake. That was that was
Yeah.
really good play.
Dude, even more.
Yeah. Sorry?
I was gonna say even more than that. That initial 2 kills you got there in the bot lane early on in the game, I was surprised at how much damage you did.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say is that you can really get like if you can get the tanks out in like that dragon fight early, it's like a total game changer. And then Poppy also fortunately does a lot of damage too. So you just get rid of the tanks, one
It
shot
was
the
the Dark
carries.
Harvest deck.
Yeah, I also went Dark Harvest just helps too. It's all about the bomb
Dark
though.
Harvest Poppy.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm
Awesome.
glad you guys liked it. We love it.
Something I noticed about the way that you guys drafted and just in general, and honestly your game plan, and it's a really solid game plan, right? You guys have Cusco on a very strong split pusher, and if you can get him R5, then even better. And then you guys have a strong 4 core, and you guys play around like team fighting and picks and stuff like that. Would you say that that's accurate? Would you say that like or just that's kind of like, or I guess like whose idea was it?
if you
For
say
kind
anything else that isn't accurate, I'm gonna have to smite all of you because you did it the same thing in every
of, you
game.
did it really well though.
Yeah,
So
every single time we go into draft, I'm like, yo, let me play these hyper carries like Jinx and shit, and Ryan just goes, or sorry, Marzipans just goes, Tim, you're on utility ADC, just shut up.
Yeah, I think
I
it's mostly Cusco's like champ pool. Like he just tends to gravitate towards those champions, and he's very good at it, obviously. And I think, like I said, like we're best when we can play around a strong lane and like the mid game macro. So if we can have a really strong
Mhm.
lane that we can play off of that can like pivot pressure around, then I think that they're gonna have a really hard time. Like if we just go for like a 5v5 team fight, like I think we have really good players that have good hands, but it's kind of a coin flip. Whereas if we just play the map, I think that it's just a lot better. So when we have Cusco and even like Goombi, it's the same thing. He does a lot of the similar stuff that Cusco does. It's just like if we can play around this really, really strong person that we know can get us leads, and then the rest of the 4 of us can play more utility pick, get Rudy on Ash or Varus or Jin or something like that, then I think that it's just a really strong comp for us.
Can I add on to that quickly too? I feel like we also feel pretty comfortable playing these kind of like balancing acts between pushing a wave or going for dragon, and that really works well when you have a crazy threat like Cusco or Goombi pushing the side lane, right?
Yeah, your guys' macro was really good. I noticed multiple times that Matthew was looking for side splits and pulling a lot of pressure. There was the one sequence towards, I think the second last sequence, where Ari was looking for a side push to try to get an inhib, or basically trying to end the game when Waldo was threatening to take Soul. But then he pulled everybody around the map, and then they couldn't kill Ari. And then Gwen gets a top inhib, and you guys get the dragon. I'm like, wow, that's crazy that you're able to come back. Because if that MF, who basically got the equivalent of 8 kills worth of gold, got a full IE on like one reset. If she ever gets CC on 1 or 2 players, you guys are doomed. That's kind of what happened when you tried to contest that Baron, where
Yeah.
you got like one shot, and then
Well,
that was crazy.
We
I
weren't trying
don't.
to test the Baron. We were just trying to stop X at that
Yeah, I
point.
don't know if you saw this, but basically the second MF had her spell shield up, I immediately cast W on towards her until her spell shield was down, so that it would always she'd be vulnerable to the RE dive at like all times.
Yeah, it was such a good heads up play. Honestly, we on the cast, we didn't even see what was happening until Ari looked like she was disengaging from the fight. I look at the mini map and I'm like, oh my god, wait, Gwen is ending the game. I literally stood up and I see, I was like, holy god, you're actually gonna win to a base race. You're actually or to a backdoor. So, man, really good series, guys. Like really good series.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for watching.
Can't wait. One quick question before we go. Just one last question. Did Cusco do the back dive, or was that planned? Like I mean, did you guys strategize that, or was he just
the
like,
back
fuck it,
door?
I'm going, y'all? Yeah, the back door. What did you
At
guys?
the end, the moment.
I want to hear the comms.
Yeah, basically when he died, basically Kuzco was like, I have TP. If you can just slow them down around the Baron as much as possible. I'm up in 50, Baron's up in 30. I can TP top and I can end the game. And then the moment he TP'd, he was just saying, stop back. And so I ulted on Jin, flashed in, did everything. And I think everyone else did the same thing. So
yeah. Just make sure that they can't step back. And I mean, Gwen with like 4 items, she's just going to wreck the entire base if you give her 10 seconds. So that's all it really took.
See, that's
so
just
yeah,
absolutely
we knew it was
insane.
coming from like a whole minute ahead. Like the moment he died and we saw Baron was coming up, we were calling out the play.
See, Chaos and I were so focused on the Baron fight. I don't even think that didn't even process in my head that was a possibility of happening, bro. That was incredible, you guys. Real quick before we end the stream, do you guys have anything to say? I waited to the end to say this, but obviously you guys are up against Chaos and K5 in the next round.
Mhm.
A little bit of spice in the chat before we close the stream, or what?
Ryan,
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
think.
handle this?
Sorry.
You want to handle the space?
Yeah, hella spice. Exactly.
I
Hey,
think the last series was super close. I think we had pretty winning positions. I think I trolled the draft of game 3, and if we had a better draft, then we definitely would have won that game. So I'm not worried, but I think it's going to be a really good series. Like I definitely think it's going to be pretty competitive.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think Chaos is by far the best laner ADC, so it's always fun knowing that I'm playing against. Like it's an exciting challenge to go up and lane against you. So can't wait to duke it out in the bot lane again.
This is not spice, bro. This was boring as heck.
Oh, K5
Yeah,
is
speaking of-
trash.
I'm just
Yeah.
the
kidding.
worst player.
Look forward to
he
the
always
interview
goes
next
down.
week.
Yeah, we kayfabed everyone into thinking we were imploding. It was all the
Yeah,
work
wait,
too. This was actually like
I
all
should
it worked
clear the
too.
air. Matt was
Drop the
never
leak.
crashing out on us. That was all just mental warfare to try and get them to underestimate us. Matt is not leaving. just to clear the air.
Matt's not leaving the bog dog. Matt's a great guy. No crash
We
out.
love Matt. He is.
We love him.
Full of,
That was
full of
funny.
tiger.
Yeah, we're gonna play you guys in the grand final. It's gonna be a great series, as you guys mentioned. That's something we're gonna have to schedule. Gonna be the rematch, so I'm super excited. Great series again. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on getting second place in TLA. I think we should just hand you guys out your second place.
We'll see next
Hold
week.
up.
We'll see.
Hold up. Wait, what?
That's much better. That's much better. All right, you guys. With that, we are going to close stream. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back soon with the Middle Division Grand Finals. We have that, or is it the Losers Final? I think it's the losers final. So we still have 3 series left. We have 2 best of 5s in the middle division, and we still have the grand finals here in the upper division remaining. So come on back. Look in the Discord. You'll see when the games are up and coming. Make sure to tune in. You're going to see these Bog Dogs who we just watched beat Waldo's down. Great job to them. You're going to see K5, who we have seen plenty of times this split, and even before the split, as they were kind of finding their way as a new team. So looking forward to these last few series, guys. Come on and see you next time.